Hey, what's up, Zach?
Oh, what's up, Thomas?
Great day today. What do you got for lunch?
Beautiful day. Let's see what we got here. Classic, Uncrustable.
Oh, same, man.
Great choice.
Our
Great
moms
choice,
are
Mom.
awesome.
Let's see what we can work with here. Nature Valley.
Ooh, would you trade for some trail mix?
My favorite.
Let's
Give
go.
me that.
Awesome. Okay, I got one more thing to trade.
Oh, I got one right here.
Beef stick.
My favorite. Beef stick.
Ooh, I'll take fruit snacks. Okay, I'll take fruit snacks.
Put it down.
Let's go. You can't take my chocolate milk, though. This chocolate milk is mine.
Gotta have my protein.
That's mine.
I got a little special item in here.
Oh, yeah?
Jack Martin signed baseball.
Oh, nobody wants that.
Come on.
All right, let's see here. I got my pens, got my scorebook. We're all good. Protractor. Oh, shoot. I'm going to be late for class. Man.
Oh, I'm gonna be so late. Oh no. I'm barely gonna make it. Oh my gosh. All right. Whew. School's in session. I think I just barely made it. Welcome into the Beach Ball pregame show. And
I think you forgot this. I think you dropped this earlier.
oh my gosh, thank you so much. I don't know what I would have done without this. I would have starved all day. Let's see what we got in here. Let's see what my mom packed for lunch. Shout out my mom, by the way. What's this? Looks like a W. Last night, the Long Beach Coast, as the Regulators, got themselves a W, 11-7 in the penultimate game. Now here we are in the series finale. Long Beach has a chance to tie the series after what was a phenomenal comeback of really the past couple of days have been a phenomenal comeback for the Long Beach Coast offense, who have started to get it done. 267 batting average in those first 3 games. Their batting average as a team has bumped up by almost exactly 100 batting average points in just the past 2 nights alone. So hopefully there's an extra W packed in here somewhere.
Oh, I found another one.
Well, there we go. All right. Well,
we're eating dubs.
Happy back to school day. That's the promotion here at the ballpark, those lunch bags being given away. But Jesse, it just seems like there's a different mood in the clubhouse right now.
Well, winning will do that. It's tough to lose a lot. The thing is, the Coast haven't lost a lot. They have comparatively lost a decent amount, given that they started the week capping a 3-game losing streak, but that's the longest of the season. If you tell a team at the beginning of the year you will never lose more than 3 games in a row, they go, wow, sounds like we're really good. Long Beach is. Now, granted, the Coast are a half game out of first place in the overall standings behind the Billings Mustangs, but they've already clinched home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs, so it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, and right now they're putting the reigning Pioneer League pitcher of the month on the mound, Matthew O'Brien, who's set to go up against Beard, who started out this series. We'll tell you more about both of those guys here in just a second, but for some of the power hitters who have been struggling a lot lately, Cuba Bess in this homestand batting under the Mendoza line, but in the past couple of nights, his batting average has soared, and he's had himself a couple of home runs as well. Last night, 448 feet off the bat, 110 as well on the exit velo. He's starting to get into himself. Consistent run support has been the name of the game over the past couple of nights for Nick Bautista, and then for last night's starter, Nathan Hemmerling, who got his 7th win. What does this offense need to do today to continue that trend for Matthew O'Brien against a pitcher in which, admittedly, they struggled against on Tuesday night?
Well, on a day where the first 7 spots in the lineup are the same as the day before, I think they just need to keep that mentality that they are supporting each other. Eddie Pelk and Matthew Bardowell have been the biggest difference makers of late because 3 times in this series, those two have spurred a multi-run inning. And really 4 times, just that Johnny Pappas started the last of that fray last night, but Pelk and Bardowell followed up. So those two need to keep producing at the beginning of the lineup because they set everyone else up so well. And it's so easy to hit when you're comfortable with who's ahead of you.
Yeah, everybody in the lineup except for Johnny Pappas got themselves in the hit column last night. Really great to see all across. Smiles in the clubhouse for the first time since the first half of this week. And hopefully their lucky charms or whatever they've been doing to get back on track continues into today. It's a race to the finish right now, and speaking of races, there's a new game that has been introduced here at the ballpark thanks to Marty Messer, our in-game presentation director. It's a trike race, and we had to test it out a couple days ago. It was exhausting.
Tricycles, tri means 3, so we had 3 rounds, and I was excited to participate. I wasn't so excited about the outcome of my first trip around, but the ending...
Well, don't spoil anything.
I think that the fans will enjoy this.
Don't spoil anything. So tricycles have 3 wheels. The Coast trying to get their 3rd win of this series to tie it up. But let's show you these 3 rounds of our test run of the trike race here right now.
It's over. It's over. This is why I broadcast. That's beach ball, baby. Silver place is pretty cool too. Hey, means I made the podium. All right, never again.
I'm going to tell you right now, I did not expect to win that, nor did I. My thighs were burning the entire time. Okay, here's the thing, Jesse. I am 6'4", for those of you who don't know. I do not fit on a tricycle of that size, maybe not since I was in elementary school, and you can eat your dubs all you want. Right now, it's a team effort, as it has been. We just talked about it before that segment, how the Coast are looking for their third win of this series. But now that we are in our final game here in August, we only have 6 more broadcasts here from Blair Field in the first week of September, just previewing what's to come for these final 2 weeks of the regular season. They're going to hit the road and head up to Modesto, a team that is right now in the lead, or rather in first place as of right now in the second half standings. Could be a potential playoff matchup there with that 3-game set in Modesto. Then they head to Oakland for one final series. Then Modesto comes here for a 6-game set. Modesto is going to be a bit of a challenge because I feel like they have a newfound confidence, much like the Coast in this series.
Well, Modesto started out the second half with just this burning sensation. They went 27-1 to start out the latter 48, but they've lost 4 in a row, so they've hit a snare. That's 7 of their last 8, but they still have 2 more weeks after today to get back onto the right foot, and if Long Beach struggles like it did at the beginning of the week, they could find themselves victim to that. Now, granted, could a punch in the mouth be good for a Long Beach team that has dominated the series against Modesto and might see them in the playoffs? Sure, but I think the Coast would feel more comfortable if they can go in these next 2 weeks, win a lot of games, and enter the postseason with some momentum.
Yeah, and it's their second road trip of the second half. Their first still in the friendly confines of California. They're first in a long time that they've headed up to Modesto. The last time they were up in Modesto, we were there. That was in early July to finish out the first half where they won the pennant. And who was on the mound that very final day?
Left-handed 5, Matthew O'Brien.
Matty-O, Obi, as they call him. But right now, the defense is what has been the key contributor as well for a lot of these starters. Nathan Hemmerling, he's known for his strikeouts. He leads the team in strikeouts. He only had a couple yesterday. A couple of double plays were a factor. Now 10 in this series for a team that is known for grounding out into double plays.
That's right, 80 on the season. That leads the Pioneer League, or I guess really it's last in the Pioneer League because they've grounded into the highest number of 2-for-1s. But Long Beach has a pretty dynamic middle infield, whether it's Anthony Mata or yesterday Jacob Jablonski and Spence Kaufman. It just works.
Spence Kaufman, a fantastic second half addition coming over from the Red Pocket Mobiles. I'm sure he's not thrilled that he's going to have to hit the road again. It's kind of something that's a little traumatizing to him after being on the road all the time to start this season. But you mentioned Anthony Mata. You had a chance to speak to Mr. Mata and talk with him about his hitting facility, about his personal life. What did you get from that?
What I got is that he is a man who loves his wife. So much so that he basically told me he prefers to spend time with her over doing anything else, and it helps that he can work baseball and softball in there too.
Well, the offseason is just a few weeks away, and hopefully Long Beach is going to send themselves into the offseason with a W. But first, let's take a little preview from that interview that Jesse Cook did with Mr. Mata. Check it out.
Time for a beach ball interview. Jesse Cook with you. Shortstop Anthony Mata. There are a lot of California guys on this team. Teammates who you've had in the past, like second baseman Jacob Jablonski.
Yeah.
Have your families gotten close over the past couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, they know all the guys that are on the team too, so it's cool to see us play with a lot of the same guys over and over again because they ask, how is Jabs doing, how is Pelk doing, it's a family out here.
So you and Emilio Corona, last week in Glacier, you put up 7 steals together, 4 for Emilio, 3 for you. You go out there a couple days ago and you match his mark. What was going through your mind that game?
Just taking over the game, really. Just wanted to go take it over, and I was able to do that on the bases, and it helped spark us a little bit.
Was there something that clicked when you were watching the first inning happen where you just went, I bet I can run on these guys?
No, I mean, to be honest with you, no. I just get out there, and if I feel like I got a good jump, I go. It's kind of, I don't put too much thought into it. If it happens, it happens, and I just happened to go kind of crazy that day, getting 4. Yeah.
And what was your reaction to seeing the rest of the team go kind of crazy that day and steal another 5 bases?
Yeah, it was time to go. I think that was just one of our methods to winning. We have a lot of ways to win a lot of baseball games, and that was one of them, and we displayed that.
You get to watch Jacob Jablonski hit a lot of home runs. Roommates with him in the past, but doesn't your friendship go back a little further than professional baseball?
Yeah, so I met Jabs back in the West Coast League, I think after my first year of college up in Oregon. So, I mean, that was in 2021. So I've known Jabs for 5 years now. It's crazy. It's crazy to see that we've kind of traveled the same journey for as long as we have. It's cool. It's cool to think about because some of these guys are like, oh yeah, Jabs is super cool. Everybody loves Jabs. It's like, man, I've known Jabs for a long time now. I think I've known him probably the longest on the team, to be honest with you. So it's funny to see how we've grown within those years.
You're working with your wife, Felina Mata, but she played her college ball, Felina Pote. How did you guys meet? I know that's a crazy story.
Yeah, it is. So I'd met her in summer ball when I was in summer ball in Minnesota in St. Cloud. One of my teammates, he had went to the school that Felina went to, and one night he was on the phone with her, just chopping it up, catching up, and then I had saw her and I asked her name, and ever since then I took his phone, put her number in my phone, called her back, and we've been locked in ever since.
So that's love at first sight.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
How soon did you actually meet in person for the first time?
So as soon as I got back from the Northwoods, I think I took off in maybe August to go see her. I never told my parents this. I told them I was going to go look at an apartment in Riverside that I was going to move into, and I had bought a flight out to Florida, and I stayed with her for a couple days. They still think that I went out to Riverside, but I went out to Florida.
Oh, so they still don't know about that?
No, I don't think I had ever told them.
Wow, so this is breaking news for the Mata family.
Yeah.
And when did you actually get married?
We got married January 11, 2025.
When your athletes look out and see professional baseball player Anthony Mata and 3-time All-American at the NJCAA level, Felina Mata, what are they saying after realizing that?
I mean, it's, like I said, it's been an absolute blessing. Like, I couldn't have wished this in my wildest dreams. You know, we work with a lot of softball players, probably like 95% of our clientele is softball. So, you know, for a young woman to look at another woman as a role model, it's completely different, and they see it in a different light than working with a man. So they gravitate towards her so much, and they look to her for advice and guidance, and she's great at that. And I know that our girls really do appreciate that, and they look up to her and want to accomplish similar things.
And how big is it for you just to be at work and look over and see your wife doing the same job?
I mean, like I said, it's like a movie, right? People write this in scripts. You don't ever think this is gonna lives align like this normally, but like I said, I've been blessed to meet her, and she's been a blessing in my life, and she's continued to do great things with like the Mata Athletics brand, and we're only going up from here.
Is she ever giving you advice on how to change your game? Does she critique you when you're out on the field?
No, she never critiques me, but I do go to her with stuff. She'll never come up to me and say this, or that, but if I ever have questions, I mean, I definitely go to her. She's had so much success in her career, it's kind of hard not to go there.
What questions are you asking?
I ask her about hitting all the time. She had way more pop than me. She was a way better hitter than I ever have been. So, yeah, I go to her with anything, and we just, you know, she just talks to me about approach and stuff like that. It's funny to go to your wife for that kind of conversation. I know that's definitely not normal, but that's just normal to us now.
So how can young athletes get set up with Mata Athletics?
Follow us on Instagram, Mata_athletics. Reach out to us. We're San Diego based, but we're looking to do and broaden out our expansion to online types of training too. That's something that we've been working on recently, and like I said, we hope just to continue to build, and grow as much as we can.
Well, you can check him out online. That's Anthony Mata. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Anthony. You can catch our full interview with the Coast shortstop on YouTube tomorrow. Welcome into Blair Field. Out of our beach ball pregame report, Jesse Cook with you, Joey Miller to my right. The Long Beach Coast set to take the field with a chance to end this series tied up at 3 games apiece. Long Beach looking for back-to-back wins over the weekend after taking down Missoula last night 11-7. Matthew O'Brien on the bump, the left-hander, has not lost as a starter at Blair Field. His record on the season as a whole is 3-2, and in the friendly confines 2-0. He faces off with a Missoula order that looks very similar to how it has all week, with Ento Apodaca leading off in right field, Nick Klemp, who has 3 home runs this week, the DH behind him, Bryce Sermonelli at third, Xavier Casarilla, who had the game-winning double on Friday night at first, Nate Vargas catching, Ty Yukamoto in left field, Elliot Good at short, Michael Kazuski in center, Will Bermudez the second baseman. Lefty-lefty affair, O'Brien to Apodaca. First pitch fastball at 87 for a strike at 1:05 p.m. Pacific time. It is 87 degrees here off the SoCal shoreline with a light breeze coming in towards home. 0-1, Apodaca spears this one up the middle. Anthony Mata at short. Catches it on a bounce, throwing to first for the out. Well, we talked to him during our pregame show, talking about how it's so easy to play the infield for a team where he's spent time with half of his teammates for multiple years, having done so with the Idaho Falls Chuckers, and there he looks comfortable. Anthony Mata joined defensively in the outfield by Robert Pitts in left, Emilio Corona in center, Matthew Bardowell in right. We'll talk about the infield in a moment. First pitch to the righty, Nick Klemp. He stares at the breaking ball low and inside. Joey, who's around the horn?
Well, it's Rosengard at third, Mata and Kaufman up the middle, Cooper Vest at first, and David Whittle catching.
Next pitch, Whittle catches it low and outside for a 2-0 count to Klemp. 6 RBIs across this series for the Missoula DH. Next pitch lands for a strike high and away. It's a 2-1 count. Klemp on the season so far batting .333, appearing in all besides 2 games for Missoula. Next pitch, he swings and rocks it to center field. Corona in pursuit. He makes the catch. That brings up Bryce Sermonelli. 2 away, no score. Top of the first, nobody aboard. Sermonelli, a .381 hitter. He settles in on the left side. Yesterday, finishing with a 1-for-4 line, recording an RBI and a sac fly. He swings at the first pitch and bounces it into right field on the ground. First hit of the ball game for either side. Sermonelli singles his way aboard. And that brings up Xavier Casarilla. Yesterday, Casarilla, a very difficult out. 3-for-4, homering to center field. That marked the high water mark for Missoula the last time they scored. A 2-run homer from him. 7th inning. Long Beach winning by 4. From the stretch, the righty swings hard over the fastball. 0-1 count. The runner on first, Sermonelli, 2 away, top 1, tied up at 0-0. The former St. Louis Cardinals draft pick. At the plate, the pitch, he swings and pops it up. Foul out of play. 0-2 count. Sermonelli, a 20th round pick in 2021. That was when the draft was shortened from 40 rounds down to 20. 0-2 from O'Brien. Heater misses up high and away at 89 miles per hour. Casarilla batting .387. His 29 home runs lead the Paddleheads. Next pitch. He swings, jogs it down the third base line under Rosengard's reach at third into left on the ground. Robert Pitts slides into the wall to get it. Relayed to the infield as both runners move up into scoring position. Sermonelli to third. Casarilla's double with 2 outs and 2 strikes, pushing him to second. Still tied up at uncracked eggs for Nate Vargas.
Casarilla, what a resurgence he's had in the second part of this 6-game series. 1 for 10 in his first 3 games, now 8 hits of the last 3, including just that double.
Even with the rough start, he was still the batting average leader on the roster among qualifying players. Nate Vargas has not earned enough at-bats yet, but he's batting .443 in his 23 games. Lefty-lefty affair, out of the windup. Fastball right down second straight, 0-1 count. Vargas from Sacramento, a UC Santa Barbara Gaucho for the last 2 college seasons. 0-1. Waits on the fastball up by his hands. 1-1 count. This past year, Vargas earned all Big West second team honors. A fellow rookie, O'Brien, turns on home. And the breaking ball misses downstairs, but over the middle of the plate. 2-1 count. O'Brien, last time out against Oakland, 7 innings pitched, 4 runs allowed with 4 strikeouts. Long Beach losing that game in the knockout round on a heartbreaking 9th inning comeback. 2-1. That misses high and away. Rather, failed comeback, I should clarify. Long Beach tied the game down by 3 in the 9th inning, but could not bring across the winning run. 3-1 count. O'Brien, glove at the stomach. He deals. It's a 4-seamer for a strike. Runners on second and third, 2 away. Top of the first inning. No score between Long Beach and Missoula. A contest which the Coast need to avoid losing their first ever 6-game series. So far, 2-0-2 when playing these week-long setups against one team. The payoff. Swung on, dribbled to second. Spence Kaufman on a knee has it. Sidearms to first for out number 3. Well, Missoula did that a lot last night, threatening by pushing runners into scoring position, but leaving them there. We'll tell you all about that after a quick break when Long Beach comes up to the plate on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Tied up at zeros as we move on to the bottom of the first inning. Long Beach catching a break defensively as Missoula strands runners on second and third. That's now 16 left in scoring position for the Paddleheads over the last 3 games. Robert Pitts leads off for Long Beach, followed by Matthew Bardowell, the right fielder, and Cuba Bess. Against the right-hander, Brendan Beard, dealing for the Paddleheads. Pitts, a late addition to the lineup. High leg kick, first one on the way, misses up high. 1-0 after the 4-seamer misses by Pitts' helmet. Eddie Pelk scratched from the lineup just about 20 minutes before the start of this game. Beard, his second appearance of the week. Here he goes. Pitts swings and fouls it to the backstop. 1-1 count. Beard dealt on Tuesday, earning the win in a 3-1 finish for Missoula, opening up the series, allowing 1 run on 6 hits over a whopping 8 innings pitched.
And that was his season high as well.
The 1-1 to Pitts. He cuts, launches it to third. It bounces off the glove of Bryce Sermonelli into left field for a hit. Sermonelli facing a hot shot there, had to lunge to his left, and it still nicked off the tip of his mitt. So Robert Pitts in the leadoff role. A late addition, but an early hit. Still tied up at 0-0 with nobody out and a runner on first in the bottom of the opening frame.
It's an important distinction, too, because that's his first hit of this homestand. 0 for his past 9.
So Pitts finding water in this drought. Well, it's been raining and pouring off the bat of Matthew Bardowell home run on Friday night, and he just keeps on hitting reaching base in 19 straight games. Righty pitches to righty. He swings and fouls it off to the right side. So Bartowell this season batting .357, making his 71st appearance in a game for the Coast this season. Pioneer League rookie out of Cal State Fullerton. Beard pitching from the first base side of the rubber. Turns home. Bartowell checks his swing. Fastball misses up high. 1-1 count. Now Brendan Beard dealing with a .779 earned run average for the Paddleheads. Pitches in his 15th starting appearance. It's 1-1. There goes pitch for second. The curveball misses low. Throw to the bag. Offline. Pitch dives in head first and beats the tag by seconds. Well, Robert Pitts burning up the base paths there. He had 10 steals during 2025, his last year of college. Now he's 3 for 3 at the professional level in 2026. 2-1 count for Bartowell. Nobody out. Runner on second. Tied up at 0-0. The Coast trailing in this week-long series, 3-2. High leg kick. Bartowell checks his swing on the heater. That's a strike at the belt. Long Beach has played 4 week-long setups. Tied to 1-2. Both of those on the road ended in ties. Both series at home ended in pretty lopsided series victories. 2-2. Misses outside and low. 3-2 count. Although the Week 4 homestand win over Modesto was 4-2, Long Beach outscored those Roadsters by 20 runs in that series and swept the Red Pocket Mobiles for the first ever Long Beach homestand. 3-2, Bartowell swings and fends it off to the right side.
Though admittedly that doesn't really seem very impressive when you consider that the Red Pocket Mobiles have now lost 30 games in a row in the second half. It's a much different roster than it was when that happened, that 6-game stretch back in early June. But what a difficult time to be a Mobiles fan.
Still, winning 6 games in a row is no small task against any team. Payoff pitch to Bartowell. He swings, swats into center field. Michael Kazuski hangs up for it and makes the catch. Pitch retreats to second. 1 away. Runner in scoring position for Long Beach to bring up Cuba Bess, the team leader with 24 home runs. And, oh, yeah, the last 2 have come in the last 2 games. Yesterday, mashing a 448-foot bomb to right field. Now he settles in here, riding a .323 batting average as well. And we are watching the standings in the second half very attentively. The first pitch, Best swings and misses on the changeup high and outside, 0-1 count. The Modesto Roadsters lead the second half, but they have lost 7 of their last 8 games. The Roadsters, 3 games back of the Coast in the overall standings, 28-7 on the second half as a whole. 0-1, Best swings and drives it deep down the right field line, but very far foul. Oh, he had a lot of power under that swing, 92 miles per hour off the bat, but could not straighten it out. These Missoula Paddleheads are second place in the second half, 4 games behind the Roadsters at 24-11. The Billings Mustangs, who hold the top spot in the overall standings, a half game ahead of the Coast. 0-2, Best swings and fences it to the left side. In the Pioneer League, if you're one of the top 2 teams at the end of the first half or the second half, you make the playoffs, so 4 teams in total. But if there's any overlap, then you default to the overall record. Long Beach won the first half pennant by winning 4 straight games in that last weekend of early July. 0-2 from the stretch. Best watches the fastball high and outside. 1-2 count. 3 of those were in Modesto. That's who Long Beach sees next, starting off a 6-game road trip before the final homestand. After that, against those same Roadsters. High leg kick. Best swings and pops it straight up. Hook into the third base side and foul ground. The third baseman Sermonelli chasing, and he finds it on the edge of the warning track in the grass. So 2 away for Long Beach in the bottom of the first inning with a runner on second. And still no score. Here comes Cooper Vest, the left-handed hitting product of Brigham Young University. Slides to the plate with a .315 batting average. And he has appeared in all besides one game this season. So 82 starts before today. Rather, 83 appearances with today, 77 total starts. Righty to lefty. Fastball misses up above the belt, 1-0 count. And there is a roster update for Long Beach today. Garrett Van Deventer deactivated on the short-term list, and Marco DiGirolamo, another UC Riverside product, joins the team. 1-0, Vest swings, pops it up, foul to the left side and out of play. DiGirolamo, teammates in 2025 with Robert Pitts, ended his college career in 2026, and joins Long Beach from the Paderborn Untouchables of the German Bundesliga. We'll talk about him more later. 1-1 from the stretch. Vest swings and cranks it high to right field, hanging up for the wall. Apodaca feeling for the fence. He looks up. That ball is over his head and long gone. Cooper Vest at his Sunday best launches it to put Long Beach up 2-0. What a way to start the matinee. 13 homers on the season.
And oh yeah, that's his first in the month of August. Welcome back to Blair Field. Cooper Vest, have yourself a week.
Well, remember, he hit 2 in one game back in July in his home state of Utah, but good 4.5, 5 hours north of where he's from in St. George, out against the Ogden Raptors. And he cranks one there. It brings up Emilio Corona digging in on the right side. Pitching out of the stretch, Beard resettling. Corona swings and fires it foul to the right half. Emilio also homering this week. He comes in with a .359 batting average. Yesterday, his 20th home run catapulted him to be the first Coast member of the 2040 Club. 20 homers, 40 stolen bases. Leads the league in the swiped bag category at 43. Next pitch, he cuts and ropes it to right center field, but that one hangs up in the inward wind. Michael Kozuski in center. Enzo Apodaca calls him off and makes the catch. Cooper Vest goes yard to bring around Robert Pitts. Those are the 2 hits in the inning for Long Beach. We move on to the top of the second with Taiyu Komodo, Elliott Good, and Michael Kozuski due up 6, 7, and 8 against the left-hander Matthew O'Brien on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Top of the second inning on the way. This is our Cook Quiz inning today. Long Beach ahead 2-0. Matthew O'Brien's first pitch to the fellow lefty Taiyu Komodo. A curveball that misses above the belt. And we're talking about the Pioneer League in today's Cook Quiz. We're also talking about what J.J. Blade did in the majors yesterday. 1-0, misses off the belt. 2-0 count for Yukamoto. J.J. Blade of the Cincinnati Reds hits for the cycle in that ball game. 2-0 out of the windup. That drops in for a strike, low and away. So I'm wondering, which 4 Pioneer League alumni ended a major league cycle with a walk-off home run? 2-1. Swung on, chopped down the first base side and foul. In all of baseball history, there are plenty of cycle superlatives. O'Brien sets and deals, swinging a bouncer up the middle. At second, it's by Spence Kaufman into center field. He went charging for that one, but that was painted perfectly up the middle and too far for a shortstop playing to the pull side, for a second baseman playing to the pull side to get to. So the third hit for Missoula precedes an Elliott Good at bat here on the right side. Haven't seen him in a while. Elliott Good playing in the first 3 games of this series, finishing 0 for 3 on Thursday. Lefty throws over to first. Yukamoto's back standing. So 6 times in baseball history, a cycle ended with a walk-off home run. Next pitch, roped out to short. Mata waiting for it. He has it. No movement from Yukamoto except back to first base. 1 out, 1 on, top 2, 2-0 Long Beach. Michael Kazuski batting on the left side. Of those 6 cyclers, 4 of them at some point in their career, I'm going to tell you it's at the beginning, played in the Pioneer League. I don't think any of these guys did any rehab appearances in the PBL, and none of them made their way down. First pitch to Kazuski, misses up high and away. We will get the answer in the bottom of this second inning. And there have been a lot of cycles in Major League history. J.J. Bleday yesterday adding into that list. The 1-0 lands for a strike, 1-1 count.
I know that there haven't been many rehab stints when this league was affiliated, obviously at the rookie level, but there have been a couple.
Next pitch, misses low and away, 2-1 count.
Only one that I'm familiar with. I know that Todd Helton, far into his career with the Colorado Rockies, played for the Grand Junction Rockies.
2-1. That drops up high. And, of course, he was a Pacific Coast League member of the Colorado Springs Sky Sox.
Correct.
Before the Sky Sox then became a Pioneer League team last year. Next pitch. That misses low and away, ball 4. Runners on first and second with 1 out for the 9-hitter Will Bermudez. And oh boy, Will Bermudez has not hit a lot in this series, but when he has, he's made a count. RBI, 2-run single back on Friday night, not to mention a homer yesterday. Those are his only 2 knocks.
Yeah, started off the series 0 for 10, and then, like you mentioned, back-to-back nights with an RBI hit of some sort, his 17th home run of the season just last night.
Mound visit for Johnny Pappas, David Whittle rather, O'Brien's catcher in college and in the pros. We ask this cycle question because J.J. Bleday for the Reds and an 11-5 win over the Diamondbacks out in Arizona last night. Touched them all. Single, double, triple, and a home run. And he did it in 4 at-bats. Next pitch. The first one to Bermudez, the righty, lands for a strike high and away. Bleday did it in just 6 innings. 8th Reds member to hit for the cycle. Can you guess the most recent? I'm going to give you a hint. He's been called the most exciting man in baseball. 0-1, swing and a miss.
So we're not talking about...
This is not the Cook quiz. No, yes. Okay. This is not the Cook quiz. This is just the fact that Ellie De La Cruz hit for the cycle in 2023. And the funny thing is that when I was in the Alaska League, that's when that happened, and I was listening to that game on the radio before watching Cooper Vest play. 0-1, misses inside and low. It's a 1-2 count. Will Bermudez, who played in that league that year, was not a part of that game. This was me listening in before the Matsu Miners played the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks not before they played the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. But that was a fun day. 1-2, swinging a dribbler foul. 1-2 count. Cooper Vest, who just homered in the bottom half of the first inning, ended up scoring a crucial run for the Miners in that game, working his way home from first on a double. And what I remember about that is that in Alaska, 4 hours behind the East Coast, I could listen to almost every Major League Baseball game in its entirety before my game started. 1-2. Bermudez swings, cracks it to left field. Robert Pitts in pursuit in the gap. That's over his head, rolling to the wall. Well, Missoula has its first run as here comes Yukamoto from second. Behind him, Kazuski. Around third, the relay to the plate. The throw is high and up the line to the backstop as well. Bermudez works his way to third. Well, he makes it to third on the error, but both runs a result of his extra base hit. 3 knocks in this series for the UC Irvine product, all 3 of them producing RBIs. 5 in total. Tied up 2-2. Top of the second. 1 out. Top of the order coming up. Runner on third after the throwing error and left from Pitts. Bermudez standing there for Enzo Apodaca at the plate. The pitch. He swings and misses behind the 88-mile-per-hour fastball. O'Brien. Glove forced into his black mitt. Here he goes. Swinging a shallow fly ball right field. That falls. Missoula has the lead. Bermudez scores from third. Shades of Friday night, a contest with 3 lead changes. We've already seen one in the early going here. So while I'm pontificating about my time up in the Great North, Missoula heads north of Long Beach in this ball game. But what I remember about that Ellie De La Cruz cycle is that I listened to it about 10 minutes before first pitch. Throw to first. Oh, they should have him, and they do. Matthew O'Brien, a deceptive pickoff move. Catches the speedy Apodaca leaning the wrong way off of first, and there are 2 away. Base is empty. Paddlehead still ahead 3-2. But we were rolling our pregame show in Alaska. I had one earbud in while I was waiting to hit play. The pitch to Nick Klemp, he fouls it to the backstop. Right-handed hitting DH, lined out to center field his first time up.
And Nick Klemp, a big factor in this series thus far. Now 9 for 25.
0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. But it was a funny feat of multitasking for me to have Jeff Brantley on the Reds game in one ear yelling about it being a cycle for Ellie De La Cruz and me in the other. 0-2 misses high and away, 1-2 count. I'm sure my broadcast partner from that summer, Austin Barrick, can recall my Sirius XM subscription getting lots of use on bus rides. 1-2. Dips downstairs and away, 2-2 count. In 2023, that was a fun season of Major League Baseball. An unexpected World Series matchup with the Rangers beating the Diamondbacks. Lots of entertaining games in the championship series. Next pitch, high and outside, it's a full count. The Diamondbacks upsetting the Phillies. Did the Rangers beat the Astros in the ALCS that year?
I think so.
Yeah, the
And
Battle of Texas.
It's a shame that that was one of the lower viewed World Series.
3-2, drops in for strike 3. Klemp elects to challenge. So we check in with the Red Paca Mobile ABS Strike Zone Challenge system, and that is ball 4. But yes, that was an unfortunately poorly viewed series. Game 1 is one of the best contests I've ever seen in the playoffs. Adolis Garcia walking it off with one of the most emphatic home run bat flips I think I've ever seen. And, of course, when your biceps are the size of Texas, the bat's going to fly a while. 3, lefty-lefty count, lefty-lefty matchup, the pitch. Sermonelli watches the heater down at the knees for a strike. Runner on first, 2 away, bottom 2, top 2, 3-2 Missoula. Nick Klemp leading off of first. Throw over to first, and he dives back in safely. Now, have you ever seen a cycle in person, Joey?
Yes, last year in the Pioneer League, Zebros in the middle of July against the Colorado Springs Sky Sox.
0-1. Swinging a high drive, right center field. In the gap, moving back in center, Emilio Corona, and that drops down into his mitt. We move on to the bottom of the second inning. We'll get the answer to the Cook quiz when we return. Missoula now has the lead. So Long Beach needs to repeat that Cooper Vest home run if it wants it back when we return on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Taking you back to Blair Field with something simple in the background. Ella Langley's song. Now Benjamin Rosengard's walk-up music. Now Long Beach needs to walk a deficit. 3-2, the Missoula PaddleHeads lead, piling on that 3 spot in the top half of this inning. Now bottom of the second, the right-hander Michael Beard faces the lefty Rosengard. He kicks up high. Rosengard winces at the high fastball, called a strike. We're still playing the Cook quiz. We're wondering which 4 Pioneer League alumni capped a Major League cycle with a walk-off homer. 0-1. Rosengard watches the breaking ball miss low and away. 1-1 count.
Well, I know one for sure. I am 50-50 on my second potential option, but that's all I have right now.
Would you care to share with the class? 1-1. Rosengard fouls it to the left side. It is school day.
It is back to school day. Well, the one I know for sure is Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado, walk-off home run to complete the cycle on Father's Day in 2017. Former Casper Ghost in the Pioneer League back in the 2000s.
1-2. Rosengard cuts and pops up behind third base, hooking towards foul ground. Tai Yukamoto from left chasing in, and he runs out of room as that ball lands in the left field visiting Steve Traxel bullpen.
I also know they were talking about expanding the league to Casper, but that fell through recently. The league that used to have a team in Casper from 2000 to 2010, or 2011 rather, before it moved to Grand Junction. Benjamin Rosengard, a former Grand Junction Jackalope a couple years ago. But my other potential guess is a guess that you had as a Cook quiz answer earlier this week.
Would that be Carlos Gonzalez?
Yes.
Okay. 1-2. Rosengard swings, taps this one to second. Charging Will Bermudez. He bobbles but throws on to first anyway and gets him. Rolled up his mitt and he recovered, barehanding it out of the glove. And that leather to hand transition resulted in a little lollipop throw to first. When I say little, I mean about, 40 feet away. Well, responding to his walk-up song, Ghostbusters. Here's Spence Kaufman. That would have worked great if he played against Casper. 3 3-2 Missoula, nobody on, one out, bottom two. Righty to righty out of the stretch. Kaufman stares at the curveball low and outside.
Yeah, especially if they revived Casper, but right now that stadium being used for collegiate ball, I believe. The Casper Spuds.
That's a good name. They expect that out of Idaho. 1-0, misses inside and high.
It's funny that you mentioned that because it came from Idaho. Canyon County Spuds moved to Casper when a team there folded, went bankrupt, and now the past 3, maybe 4 seasons, it's been the Casper Spuds.
2-0. Kaufman cuts, pops it up over the backstop foul. 2-1 count. Well, many of these players on Long Beach, including manager Troy Percival, spent last year, or the last 2 seasons, with the Idaho Falls Chuckers, here their city with a juniors hockey team in the USPHL, the Idaho Falls Spud Kings. 2-1. Kaufman cuts, loops this into shallow center field, falling fast. Kozuski lays out on the slide. Oh, he has it. What a catch. Michael Kozuski tearing in. That one went dropping with some hefty backspin backwards, and Kozuski makes the chase. So there are 2 away in the bottom of the second inning. 3-2 Missoula, bases empty. Joey, there are 4 players. You've guessed 2. Do you have any idea who the other 2 could be? I'm going to give you a hint. Both of these players completed their big league cycle in the 70s, both of them for American League teams. One of them played in the Pioneer League in 1960, the other in 1971. One is in the Hall of Fame. First pitch to Mate, swings and misses over the curveball.
Well, my history or encyclopedic knowledge of cycles does not maybe date that far back, I will say. So I am going through a couple names.
0-1, laced out to second, over the leap of Bermudez into center field. Anthony Mata takes a big turn around first, but holds up there. David Whittle trotting up now on the right side. Well, I can tell you that one of these players is in the Hall of Fame, and you definitely know who he is because he's famous perhaps for one specific altercation.
Ah, okay, then I'm pretty sure I know which one that is then. I think you might have cleared that up.
Another player, the other one never even an all-star, one of the best Venezuelan players before the 21st century, though. The pitch to David Whittle. He stares at the fastball at the belt. Would you care to venture a guess to complete the group?
Well, George Brett would be my third guess then. You mentioned a famous altercation with Goose Gossage in the 1988 Pine Tar game, maybe 88. It's somewhere in the 80s.
0-1. Whittle leans back. That hits him on the back of the helmet. He is down. He rips his helmet off, and he stays down on his stomach. Here comes the training crew and third base coach Troy Gloss sprinting out there. That's Steve Tubner, the trainer, kneeling down with him. Well, this is getting out of hand. This is the 3rd time we've seen a coast batter hit in the head with a pitch. And it is a terrifying sight every single time. Matthew Bardwell went on the IL for 10 days after it. Cuba Best, luckily, was all right. I think it was Cuba Best. He never left that game because it was a very slow pitch. That went 87 miles per hour to the head. And Brendan Beard is crouching down, staring at home behind the mound. And that has to be a really tough situation for him because obviously he did not mean to throw it there. Here comes Corinne Halley, the other trainer, alongside Steve Tubner to check on Whittle, who is down on his stomach, moving his legs, hand still grasped around his head. Looks to be conscious, but oh boy, that is scary.
And the crowd went from a murmur to absolute silence.
Well, he's being helped back up by Troy Gloss and Steve Tubner. Troy Percival, the manager, walking him to the dugout, and those two have some pretty good history together. Percival has gotten to watch Whittle basically grow up in college ball at UC Riverside. And on a hot day like this, where it's, I believe, 88 degrees at the moment, that is especially tough. Here comes Johnny Pappas to pinch run for him, and we can probably expect the Chino Hills native to stay in the game at catcher. So Whittle walking off under his own power, but with help from the training and management crew. That is a really frightening instance there.
And that was with the fastball, too, at 87, by the way. You really hope that everything's okay, and glad to see him get up.
Well, here comes the top of the order in Robert Pitts. And after that, just back to the Cook quiz. So the one player I don't think you'll get, Cesar Tovar. Righty to righty, double steal. Pitch misses to the backstop. Rounding third, Mata, but he holds up. That ball took a very gracious bounce for Missoula off the backstop. Both of those stolen bases for Long Beach despite the wild nature of that pitch. Johnny Pappas moves up to second, Anthony Mata to third. Here comes Michael Schlacht for Missoula to talk to his pitcher. For Pappas, by the way, 2 for 2 on steals this season. Anthony Mata, 28 for 29. And the Cook quiz today. Joey, your 3 guesses in addition to Cesar Tovar were? George Brett?
George Brett, Carlos Gonzalez, and Nolan Arenado.
Well, Cesar Tovar would have been a tough one. So I'm going to say that you hit for the cycle here.
All right.
Walked it off with that home run, too. Might I add, the 4 Pioneer League alumni to walk off a Major League cycle with a homer. Cesar Tovar on September 19th, 1972. George Brett, May 28th, 1979. Carlos Gonzalez, July 31st, 2010. And Nolan Arenado, June 18th, 2017.
On Father's Day.
That's right. Cesar Tovar played for the 1960 Missoula Timberjacks, connecting to this game. George Brett, a 1971 member of the Billings Mustangs, who have won 7 straight. Carlos Gonzalez, a 2003 member of the Missoula Osprey, and Nolan Arenado, a 2009 member of the Casper Ghosts. Not bad, I'd say today, Joey. Here's Robert Pitts, 1-0. He waits for it. Fastball lands for a strike down the middle.
And that's one of the rare things where I could have told you that date. I remember July 31st, 2010. It's one of those things where you remember where you were when it happened.
Oh, yeah. 1-1. Pitts cuts and fouls it to the right side. There are 2 outs, 2 men in scoring position for Long Beach. 3-2 Missoula, your score.
But,
and by the way, do have a treat coming up in the top of the 3rd inning. My older sister, Clara, will join us on the broadcast. A high school softball star in Massachusetts. So that'll be fun. 1-2. Pitts again fends one off over the back netting. This has been a fun weekend for the Cook family. My mom, dad, and sister getting to join us for 4 games. My dad got to play the organ before the game started today. He's a professional pianist. 1-2. Pitts swings and misses up high and inside. Well, we move on to the 3rd inning. Long Beach strands a pair. Missoula still leads 3-2. We'll be back in just a moment on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Friends and family joining the broadcast here in Long Beach, California. It's a 3-2 lead for the Missoula PaddleHeads, entering the top of the third inning with Xavier Casarilla leading off against the lefty Matthew O'Brien. I'm Jesse Cook. To my right, my older sister, Clara Cook.
Hello.
Welcome to the airwaves.
Thank you for having me.
First pitch on the way. Casarilla waits on one for a strike at the knees. 0-1 count. Thank you for being here. It's been great having you, Mom and Dad, here these last 4 days now. And you have a somewhat storied history on the diamond. You threw the only no-hitter in the history of Sharon High School. Cooper Vest makes the catch down the first base side for out number one. So do you miss playing?
Sometimes. I've picked up cricket instead, and so that's about as close as I get these days.
Cricket, wow. So how does that compare to baseball and softball?
The rules are a little different. Like in baseball and softball, if you are holding the bat and you touch first base, you're out, right?
Yes.
But in cricket, you have to hold it the whole time.
Oh, wow. Nate Vargas watches the first pitch for a ball. Now, it's been great watching you grow in your career since leaving the University at Buffalo, Carnegie Mellon, and now starting your career in tech. So what has been the biggest change for you going from being like an everyday high school athlete now to being someone who's solving problems on the day-to-day basis?
Well, it's definitely different. I think that baseball problems versus tech problems are a little, mixing it up. But I think that no matter what, it's an opportunity to, solve a puzzle, even if that puzzle is a physical puzzle or, a tech puzzle.
And you are a user experience designer?
Engineer. Yeah. I feel like my designer counterparts would be very upset if I called myself a designer. So.
Well, you're somewhat of a designer, just not in user experience.
This is true.
We can't see it on camera because you're wearing the headset, but you have these DNA strand earrings.
This is true.
Those are cool.
My boyfriend actually got me them in Japan, so they're
Big shout out to Dennis.
Big shout out to Dennis, yeah. But, yeah.
Now, you and Dennis both get to operate things with tech in your day-to-day life. We got to watch our parents growing up operate musical instruments all the time. And before the game today, we got to watch our dad play the organ here at Blair Field. I was beaming watching that. How cool was it for you?
It was amazing. That's definitely one of those, I think I said to Joey, core memory type things. And he did a fantastic job, but it was just, it's all the things we love. It's music, it's family, and it's baseball. So it was kind of a dream come true.
Yeah, and our mom's here, too. She couldn't transport her French horn out here because I don't think she wanted to. Yeah. But she's had that thing since she was about 10 years old. And the keys on the French horn, she glued on dimes, maybe back then when she got it. And to see how those things have weathered, how she's taken care of her instrument, how both our parents maintain all of their equipment and everything so meticulously. What do you think that did for you in maintaining this air of professionalism and dedication to your craft?
Oh, they are great examples of people who kind of live and die by what they do. And, our mom has worked in multiple fields, and our dad has, worked pretty consistently in the music field, but in a lot of different genres. And no matter what they do it to the absolute maximum and best that they can. And that's what I want to do. I know I don't have the most exciting job on the planet, but I go out there and I try to do my best. And I get to work with blind users. I get to work with a lot of different kinds of people, and interacting with those people and doing that to the best of my ability does really matter to me, even when I don't have the most exciting job on the planet.
Well, I think you do a fantastic job at it. You do a fantastic job of getting me excited about things that interest you, like Brandon Sanderson books, tons of TV shows,
Oh, yeah.
our dogs and cats back home, so you get to work with blind people and blind cats.
This is true.
And before we head to a break, I do just have to tell my favorite sports-related story of you. Actually, there are a bunch. It's not the Pete Rose story where at 8 years old you told him that he had 4,256 hits and showed him up. But it's you taking a line drive off the ankle in a club tournament, having to be carried off the field, and then when your lineup spot came up, there were no reserves, so you had to go up there and hit. And you actually got it through. You saved the game.
Yes.
The Clara at the bat stories are historical and numerous. And before I let you go and enjoy the rest of this game out in the shade of Blair Field, do you have any favorite sports memories to share with Coast fans?
I mean, there are so many. I feel like, even as a kid watching the Ken Burns baseball documentary as a family, that holds pretty important to me because I feel like, our history trivia is clearly poetic enough to be involved in this particular setting, but that might be it. I feel like that makes it feel very real and very tangible for all of us non-sports athletes at the time.
So they're showing up Pete Rose. There's game-tying hit on a bad ankle. There's no hitter on a bad plant leg. And there's a wonderful tech career budding for my wonderful older sister, Clara. Thank you so much for hopping on the broadcast.
Thank you so much.
Love you, Clara.
Love you too.
Well, we're getting set now for the bottom of the third inning. Matthew Bardowell leading off for Long Beach here. 3-2 Missoula, your score. Jesse Cook with you on the mic. Joey Miller back to my right. If you just tuned in, you heard my older sister Clara with us. So, Joey, thanks for letting the family on.
Oh, anytime.
Matthew Bardowell faces a first pitch curveball from Brendan Beard, and that falls for a strike, 0-1 count. Bardowell lined out to center field his first time up in the first inning. Beard adjusts his cap, settles in, middle of the rubber, turns on home. Bardowell swings, ropes it to short, diving to make the catch, Elliott Good. Oh, a former Ogden Raptor. But that time he looked like a velociraptor soaring through the air. Elliott Good lays out for that laser beam, a 98-mile-per-hour drive off of Bardowell's bat. Well, that has not helped Long Beach in this series at all. That Missoula has had fantastic defense. Yesterday, a blip with 3 errors. The other games, feels like we're seeing diving catches every day. Here's Cuba Bess on the left side. Righty deals. He swings and misses underneath the 87-mile-per-hour fastball. Beard settles in again for Bess, who popped out to third and foul ground last time up. The pitch, he watches high and outside. 1-1 count. 3-2 Missoula, bases empty, 1 away. Last contest in a 12-game homestand. A second to last homestand for Long Beach in the inaugural regular season. 1-1. He cuts and pops it up again. Third base side and foul. Nate Vargas throws away his mask, but Blair Field throws away any chance of getting to that ball as it lands in the stands.
Look at that kid go. It's a race.
Well, yeah, there's nobody sitting in the sunny sections of Blair Field, so they're tracking down from the shadowed area a couple kids. They're all looking for the ball. They can't find it. They've lost it.
It's in front.
There's a dad trying to direct the now swarm of kids. It doesn't matter who was first. It matters who got it. And it's a different contender. 1-2 count. Best swings and fouls it to the left side over the parking lot onto Park Avenue. And now I think the Denzel quote can be configured for this. Doesn't matter what you know, it matters what you can prove. Doesn't matter how fast you get down there, it matters where the ball is. I like training day. I watched it before the season. 1-2, Best swings and flies it to left field. Tayu Komodo in the smack middle of the grass makes the catch.
Do you have any favorite memories of potentially catching a foul ball? Have you ever caught a foul ball?
Well, occasionally when I played catcher, I did.
Okay, I mean, off
never
the field.
once in the crowd as a foul ball come my way. Well, never once have I caught one. Jacoby Ellsbury did almost send me to the hospital with a 102-mile-per-hour foul ball to the seats on the third base side at Fenway Park when I was maybe 11. It missed me. It hit the seat next to me and shattered the back plate. The first pitch to Cooper Vest. The lefty watches that one low and away. He shattered the uncracked eggs on the scoreboard earlier with his 2-run homer in the first inning. Beard kicks up high. Vest swinging a miss downstairs and away. One and one count for Vest. Beard, glove at his belt. He whips home. Missing low and away.
Only because you brought it up. Jacoby Ellsbury, I recall, was he a lefty?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of those lefties with sneaky pop, much like Cooper Vest.
Oh, yeah. 2-1. Vest stares at it for a strike at the belt. And I was looking back at the 2013 ALCS video, the Shane Victorino home run. Jerseys just looked better in that season. I don't know what the material was or what. They hung off the players the right way. They rippled in the wind the right way. 2-2. Vest swings and bounces it foul to the right side.
Well, I can tell you it was majestic. The cool base jerseys that used to cost like $300.
And they were, of course, majestic looking.
I remember winning a majestic contest when I was 11.
Oh, wow.
That got me onto the field at Coors Field. I shook hands with Jim Tracy, the manager at the time.
Huh.
Gave me a jersey that was signed by Josh Renicky.
Wow. 2-2, Mrs. Heinaway. Is he related to the Red Sox old interim
Yes.
manager, Ron Renicky?
Yes, that is his uncle or
Okay.
cousin, one of those two.
Baseball families.
Pitch for the Reds after that. We're still Facebook friends, by the way.
Okay. 3-2 to Vest. He swings and misses. That one high and inside. Joey Miller will take you through the next 3 innings on the play-by-play. We've got 7-8-9 due up for Missoula and a 3-2 Paddleheads lead when we return on the Long Beach Baseball Network.
Into the fourth we go. We just saw the trike race that we talked about in the beach ball pregame show. And that was a tight race there between those two contestants. Right now it's a tight race between the Coast and the Paddleheads. 3-2 the score after a scoreless third. 6 up, 6 down. Now here's Matteo. Obi, as they call him, the lefty. Throws inside on Elliott Good, who just made a fantastic grab at shortstop. A line drive from Matthew Bardwell that otherwise would have started the inning with a leadoff single. Instead, he nabbed it and helped his starter Beard complete another 0 on the board. 1-1 up in the air in center field. Corona shuffles over to his left, makes the grab for out number 1. Michael Kazuski now up to the plate. Will Bermudez to follow him to finish out the second time through the Paddleheads lineup. Kazuski took a walk in his first at-bat. Came around to score one of the 3 runs that came across in the second. The second inning has been tough for either team to get out of without allowing a run. In this series, particularly the 0-1 up the middle. Mata can't get there, but it's still good for a base hit. Mata, that would have been an incredible play had he been able to pick that one up. Instead, it deflects off his glove, prevents it from getting into center field. but still tough enough to not become an error. There's already an error, that one on Rosengard on the relay in to the catcher that allowed one of the runs to score. Or rather, both of them scored, but that made that run unearned, the third run that came across, which is currently uplifting the Paddleheads over the coast. Will Bermudez takes ball one.
That also would have been a difficult play to get him at first. I think he would have outpaced the throw.
Called strike. A 1-1 count for Bermudez.
Kozuski has a lot of speed up the line, and he was almost at first by the time that Mata got to that ball.
Bermudez now in the last 3 games of this series, all 3 of his hits, 1 apiece in each of the past 3 days, and all of them scoring an RBI in some facet. Yesterday on a solo shot, the day before. Hard line drive up the left field line. That's going to be fair and head towards the corner. Quick throw in from Pitts. So it's the first hit of the series for Bermudez that doesn't score an RBI. Runners at second and third off that double. Back-to-back hits, now back to the top of the lineup. Enzo Apodaca will step up to the plate here now. 5 for 23 on the series. One for 2 today as well with an RBI single. That RBI single was that third run that scored Will Bermudez, who's currently in scoring position. A 1-0 count. First breaking ball misses. O'Brien now having to pitch to a different battery mate that maybe he's not as used to. Misses down with a fastball for a 2-0 count. Johnny Pappas came into this game after David Whittle, O'Brien's college teammate at UC Riverside, left the game due to an apparent injury. An 87-mile-per-hour fastball to the dome. Breaking ball below the knees. Now O'Brien has to hit the zone on this next pitch.
And, well, catchers catch every pitcher. Pappas has caught O'Brien when he's appeared out of the bullpen early on in this season, but it has been a minute since the live game action.
3-0. Misses low and loads up the bases with 1 out for Nick Klemp. Not a person you want to see in this situation.
Now, 3 home runs this series is not a tempting sight for Long Beach.
And that's going to mean a mound visit from Jerome Williams, the pitching coach. That is the 3rd walk O'Brien has issued now in 3 1/3 innings. Mata is also going to come in and have a chat with the Hillsman. No action right now in the bullpen. The sun beating on the coast out there. Unfortunately, they don't have much shade out there, and I've talked to a couple of those bullpen guys, including Ryan Fox not too long ago. How do you beat the heat? They have some water out there and some Gatorade as well, but only so much you can do when the sun's just beaming on you. There's no shade, really, except for maybe if you sneak into the hitting facility there. So the mound visit has concluded, and the task at hand is to either get a ground ball or just figure out how to retire Nick Klemp. 9 hits on the series, 7 RBI. Infield in normal playing range and a 1-run contest that favors the Paddleheads currently. Breaking ball misses outside. That's 5 straight balls after the double to Will Bermudez. The DH in most of the games this series. Scratch that, all of them. Line drive into left center. That's going to score a couple. Here comes Kozuski. Now Bermudez, the throw in to Mata. Stops things there, but some insurance runs for the Paddleheads on the 2-run single by Nick Klemp. Make that 9 RBI on the series. And he didn't have to do anything fancy with that one. Just a simple poke into left center. Nice line drive. The Paddleheads on top, 5-2. 110 off the bat, I should say, as well. Taking an 85-mile-per-hour pitch from O'Brien. Runners at first and second, still one out, and a ball misses outside to Bryce Sermonelli, who I can now confirm is engaged as of this week.
All right, we didn't spoil it.
We did not. His family is here, and I would assume so is his fiance. 1-0, misses low. And this is going to be the first part of a road trip, a 2-week road trip for the Paddleheads. Their first trip out to California. They're going to head up to see Oakland, and then Modesto, which is the exact opposite of what the Coast are going to do when they head up the coast. A swing and a miss for strike one on Sermonelli. So basically, the Coast get Modesto for 3 games and then Oakland for 3 games. Paddleheads just vice versa there. 2-1 count for the lefty, Sermonelli on the lefty. O'Brien, the pitch is fouled off to the third base side. Some more souvenirs for the excited kids in attendance on back-to-school day. After the game, they'll get to run the bases, get some autographs. It's a feat that happens every Sunday. Only one more Sunday matinee game, though, after this at Blair Field for the rest of this season. That'll be against the Roadsters just 2 weeks from now. Another line drive into left center. Here comes Apodaca. The throw in will not head towards home plate. Make it 6-2. Back-to-back RBI hits, this time for Sermonelli, his second hit of the day. Same scenario. Runners at first and second. And still no action in the bullpen. Maybe some stirring right now. It is only the 4th inning right now, and you'd want to keep out somebody who has been fantastic of getting out of jams. But right now, a 3 spot here in the top of the 4th. O'Brien gave up a 3 spot in the top of the 2nd. That gave the Paddleheads their first lead of the game. First pitch to Casarilla. Big wave and a miss. Swings out of his shoes there for strike one. A double back in the first for Casarilla. That was his 9th hit of the series and his 8th in the past 3 days alone. Next pitch misses outside on a changeup, a flat changeup there at 75. Runs arm side, evens up the count. O'Brien got the first out on the 3rd pitch of the inning, looping breaking ball at the top of the zone, but misses. 2-1 count, just above the letters that spell out Zootown. The same uniforms they wore on the first night. Same starting pitcher as the first night, Brendan Beard. Usually the starter gets to choose the jerseys. As of late, O'Brien has elected for the black Regulators uniforms, but the past couple of outings he has come out on the mound wearing the Coast Cream jerseys because Sundays are usually at home kids' days. Breaking ball misses outside. 3-1 count, at risk of another walk and potentially loading up the bases again. (3-1). Popped up in the sky. Rosengard fighting the sun. Mata also can't see it, but Rosengard has it. Did not have to move his feet. Planted like a tree.
Or like a rose.
Or a rose, yes. Rising out of the pavement for out number 2. Nate Vargas now to the dish. 0 for 2 today. Coming into this game, he had 12 plate appearances, and he reached in 9 of them. 3 hits, 4 walks, and 2 hit by pitches of those 9. Now in his 15th of the series, number 5 takes strike 1. Vargas and Gutierrez have been back and forth as the 2 catchers for the Paddleheads this series. Yesterday, Gutierrez started and Vargas finished in that line in the top of the 9th, where he flew out for the final out in Zach Volker's now 18th save on the season. Pitch misses in the dirt. Pappas keeps it near him, a 1-1 count. So that 18th save now propels Volker over Sam Hellinger, the former Missoula Paddlehead of 2022, for second all-time, not just in the modern era, but in all of Pioneer League's recorded history since 1964 when the stats started being kept. Slow ground ball, play at first. Cooper Vest flips it on to O'Brien. They leave two stranded, but damage is done. Couple more insurance runs for the Paddleheads, make it 6-2 heading into the bottom of the fourth. We'll be right back on the Coast Media Network. The homestand leader in batting average, Emilio Corona, is going to lead things off here after three more runs come across for the Paddleheads. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook here on this Sunday matinee to finish out the 12-game homestand. 6-2 Paddleheads. In the bottom of the fourth, Corona fouls off the first pitch for strike one. Brendan Beard, who dominated against these Long Beach Coast, only allowed one run in the first game of this series in the second inning. He gave up the initial lead, gave up two on just one swing of the bat by Cooper Vest, who was the last out that Beard recorded for his second strikeout. That ended the third. Breaking ball misses for ball one. Corona's 0 for 1 today. On the homestand, he has 12 hits, 5 of which extra base hits, and 3 of those 5 extra base hits went over the fence. Check swing and a miss for strike two. Not to mention, Corona has 15 RBI on this very homestand alone, putting him at 89 on the season, still behind Cuba Bess, who made it to 100 just a couple days ago. Swing and a miss. There's the third K for Brendan Beard. And out number one in the bottom of the fourth. For Brendan Beard, in the first night he had 4 Ks, and he's creeping up to that benchmark there. Benjamin Rosengard will step up to the dish here with an 0 for 1 line so far. Righty on lefty, breaking ball hits the outside part of the plate. Rosengard's going to challenge it. First challenge try by Long Beach, and a successful one at that. So now on the series, Long Beach 7 for 13 on the homestand. That's their 20th successful challenge of 30 tries. 1-0 count for Rosengard. 1-0 delivery from Beard, waved on and missed for a 1-1 count now. Rosengard grips his bat, laying on his shoulder, doesn't take it off for a ball that misses outside. Worked a 1-2 count before grounding out to the second baseman. 2-1. Off the end of his bat towards left field, has some carry, and it's going to get over the wall. How about that? Rosengard with a sneaky pop. Where did that come from? Doesn't matter because it puts one more on the board for the Long Beach Coast. All the way around, the Chicago native puts a little bit of sport pepper onto his Chicago dog for his first hit of the game. 6-3, Long Beach still trailing. Here's Spence Kaufman.
Could have used some of that power back on Friday night when he came a homer shy of the cycle. But oh boy, what a week it's been for Rosie.
Truly. And what a homestand it's been for Spence Kaufman in his introduction to the Long Beach Coast. Waits on a ball, challenged there by Vargas. And a successful one for strike one. 4 total challenges across the board, 3 successful for the Paddleheads. So 4 for 4 across the board. No unsuccessful challenges yet. Ball misses outside and low on the breaker. 1-1 count for Coffee, as they call him. And right now, the bat's needing to wake up. It sure did for Benjamin Rosengard. And now here's Spence Kaufman getting into the hit column. Line drive into left field puts him at first with 1 out. Anthony Mata to the plate. Mata already in the hit column today. Came around a third, but was left stranded. That was the most recent inning prior to this one, where there was a runner aboard. A scoreless third. And now 1 run here in the bottom of the 4th. Checking into some scores right now across the league. Particularly want to look at the Red Pocket Mobiles going for history right now. They're trailing 9-4 against the Idaho Falls Chuckers. What do I mean by that? Swing and a miss on the fastball for Mata. Starts him off 0-1. They have a 30-game losing streak, 5 away from tying the professional baseball record set by the Empire State Grays in 2022 in the Frontier League, the short-lived travel team of 2 years. Now technically this is the second travel team in back-to-back years led by Dimitri Young. A lot of the same players that he brought over with him to the Red Pocket Mobiles in their first year. A called strike on Anthony Mata. Now for an 0-2 count. Not sure what will happen with the Red Pocket Mobiles. We might see them next year, we might not. But what we do know is that the league is expanding. Irvine recently announced. Anthony Mata with a runner at first. An 0-2 count. Beard waits and then snap throws from the stretch. Foul off to the backstop. Took the first pitch into right center. Now has seen a couple here. Oh-2 popped up behind home plate. It's going to get over the net and hit the roof like clockwork. Mata with a stolen base. Not uncommon of this homestand. For Mata, 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts. Again, popped up in foul territory, and the first baseman, Casarilla, is going to grab it just about a foot shy of the line. Out number 2. With the runner still at first, Johnny Pappas is going to get his first plate appearance of the day. Came in as a pinch runner David Whittle, in his first and only plate appearance today, hit by the pitch on the third pitch by Beard. And we hope he's okay, getting looked at, likely, right now in the training room in the clubhouse by one of the two athletic trainers, Steve Tubner and Corinne Halley. Both came out to the rescue. First pitch to Pappas, misses outside for ball one. Pappas, the only one in last night's lineup without a hit, is going to try and enter the hit column tonight. Last night went 0 for 2, a sacrifice bunt and a walk. He did come around to score, so it's not like he didn't get on base. Line drive into left field, and Yukamoto is going to make the grab on the run, heading towards his third base dugout. Leaves a runner stranded, but how about Benjamin Rosengard? His first home run here at Blair Field in the month of August. And we send it to the fifth. 6-3 now. Paddleheads on top on the Coast Media Network. Sending it to the fifth. 3 runs in the top of the fourth, 1 run by the Coast. That was a Benjamin Rosengard dinger, his first here at Blair Field, his third in a Coast uniform. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook, it's 6-3 Paddleheads. O'Brien back on the bump. Yukamoto, who made the grab for the last out of the 4th inning, will start the 5th inning with a foul ball. And now that we're here in the top of the 5th, it is a Sunday, which means it's time for another Miller's Musing. 0-1, looped in the air towards left field. It's going to be a leadoff single for Yukamoto, his second hit of the day, now 2 for 3. So, today is back to school day here at the ballpark. Kids getting ready to head back to class. Long Beach State soon to come around for some college kids in the area. And right now, for the Long Beach Unified School District, which includes Woodrow Wilson High School just across the street, I'm curious about how many in that school district entered Major League Baseball. Bunt up the third baseline. Rosengard's going to need to be quick and gets the out at first. That advances Yukamoto on a nice bunt there by Elliott Good. A sacrifice and out number 1. So, of the representatives of that school district, do you by chance have at all a guess of how many Major League Baseball players came out of the representing schools?
Well, they've got a bunch on display on the outfield wall at Woodrow Wilson High across the street. I think it's 12 from Woodrow Wilson.
More than that.
Wow.
Actually, they have the most out of anybody in the school district at 20. Called strike 1 on Kazuski.
Well, I'm going to go with, I don't know how many schools there are, but I'm going to go with maybe 75 Major League Baseball players.
You are awfully close. The number is 73, actually.
Oh,
Foul ball off to the third base side.
so I'm out on The Price is Right.
Just barely. So 73, 13 of those 73 entered an all-star game at a certain point. 2 of them are Hall of Famers. 57 total all-star games combined of those 13 all-stars. And we'll get into the nuts and bolts here in just a second. But first, a line drive tipped off the glove of Rosengard. It was supposed to get into left field. But Pitt's drawn in. A good backup keeps Yukamoto at third for an infield single. Kazuski gets aboard for the 3rd time today. 2nd time the way of the hit. Will Bermudez, who has 2 extra base hits today and now runners at the corners, steps up to the plate here with 1 out. So in 2nd place is Long Beach Poly. Long Beach Polytechnic High School, one of the more famous high schools here in Long Beach. There goes the runner off towards 2nd. Pappas holds off. It's going to be a stolen base for Kazuski. And an 0-1 count, a called strike there on Bermudez. Here comes Percival, and he points towards the pen. So more on this story when we come back. When we tell you who the new arm is on the mound for O'Brien, who ends his day. 1 out into the 4th. 6-3 as it stands. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. Paddleheads in charge. We'll be right back on the Coast Media Network. Obi exits the game. Matthew O'Brien with a 6-3 deficit. The Missoula Paddleheads threatening now with runners at 2nd and 3rd, and a new face for the organization as of just before this ball game. Marco Go ahead and say it.
Marco DiGirolamo.
DiGirolamo.
His name rhymes. His first name is actually Philip, middle name Marco. And he goes by Marco.
I'll have to learn it quick. DiGirolamo will face off against Will Bermudez, who had an 0-1 count. Infield drawn in, and Johnny Pappas accepts a pitch in the dirt for the first professional pitch for DiGirolamo, who just came from Germany. And you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
That's right. He's from the Paderborn. He is coming from the Paderborn team in Germany, the Untouchables.
As kind of a half slot, snappy arm motion, a foul ball by Bermudez. Stays crouched on the mound and then fires almost like a sidearm.
That's right. And he pitched under Troy Percival at UC Riverside, wrapping up his collegiate career back in May. Then made it out to Germany, and he arrived in Long Beach, I believe, last night. He flew to San Francisco because he's from Monterey, up in the Bay Area, and hopped in his car yesterday and drove down. 9 hours. So 11 hours in the air from Germany. I think maybe he landed Friday night or Saturday morning, and after a power nap, made his way down.
And this change is the result of putting Garrett Van Deventer on the short-term IL. I hope he's all right after only going 2 innings in his last start earlier this week. Swing and a miss, and there's the first professional strikeout for Marco DiGirolamo. On Will Bermudez gets out number 2. Now, I will say, he did start out with an 0-1 count. Still impressive pitch there on the breaking ball. So he'll try and get a full batter here now with Enzo Apodaca. Rocks on the third base side of the rubber, throws to the plate, hits the outside edge for strike 1. It's the first strikeout of the game, by the way, for Long Beach. Matthew O'Brien, who goes 4 1/3, no strikeouts, but gives up 11 hits. That's a career high. It's also a career low in strikeouts. 0-1 in the zone again. DiGirolamo pound in the zone. And now has a chance to leave 2 stranded in a big spot here in the top of the 5th. Arm by his side to his new battery mate, Johnny Pappas. Nods. The UC Riverside product. Goes at it. 0-2 right back up the middle for a base hit. That's going to score a couple. Throw in front by Corona just to the cutoff. 2 runs for Apodaca. Second and third RBI of the day make it 8-3, a 5-run advantage for the Paddleheads. Ties their biggest series advantage of any point. They had a 5-run advantage, I believe. Or was it the Coast? It might have been the Coast, actually, who had a 9-4 lead, I recall.
That was Missoula.
Missoula, yes. They came back. It's been a long week. It's a called strike.
Missoula led 9-4. Long Beach came back, capped by that Matthew Bardowell 2-run homer on Friday, but then Missoula surged to victory in the 9th.
Nick Klemp played a factor in that game, and now in today's game has also done so with a 2-run single. For now 9 RBI on the series. 1-1 count. He takes that next pitch. The leadoff single, Yukamoto, came around to score, as well as Kazuski. Line drive cracked up into left center. Corona's going to try and nab the lead runner at third, but to no avail. So first to third, Enzo Apodaca goes on the second hit of the day for Nick Klemp. Just a single there. DiGirolamo, in 3 batters faced, has given up 2 hits. Still just 1 out to go. Bryce Sermonelli will hope to be that one. 2 for 3 today. DiGirolamo sets and fires. Sermonelli pops up to left field. Pitts sits under it and makes the grab for out number 3. But despite 2 stranded, 2 come across for the Paddleheads. Back-to-back innings where they've scored multiple runs to add on to now what is an 8-3 lead. We'll send it to the bottom of the 5th, and we'll be right back on the Coast Media Network. Leadoff man Robert Pitts is going to try and kick things off here in the bottom of the 5th. Back-to-back innings that the Paddleheads have scored more than one run, extending their lead to 5. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook, Brendan Beard looking for another win in this series. Pitts fouls a bunt backwards for strike 1. Pitts, this is his 4th start of this homestand. His 6th game played of now the 12 total games. He's come in a couple times in a pinch running scenario. He got his first hit in his very first at-bat in the bottom of the 1st. Came around to score one of the 2 runs in that inning. Launches one out to left field, but goes foul. 102 off his bat. A long strike 2 for the product out of UC Riverside and a former teammate of his, a couple former teammates of his, have taken the mound. Matthew O'Brien gives way to Marco DiGirolamo. Leans into another foul ball, first base side, and falls off balance in the process. Skipping ahead about 30 feet towards first base in the process. Bardwell, Bess, and Vest, and Corona. 4 great power hitters following Pitts. This one runs inside. It's the second hit batter on the very same 87-mile-per-hour fastball that took David Whittle out of this game. None, I don't believe, are intentional, though I know there has been some tension between these two teams. Michael Schlacht getting ejected just a couple nights ago, but that was mostly based on his opinion of this umpire crew.
Yeah, none of these high inside pitches are intentional for any reason other than to force a swing and miss. Least of all there where it's a 2-strike count.
Well, Pitts gets clipped, the Clippers fan, and pretty good with the Clippers, the team barber, Matthew Bardwell. Now swings through the first pitch high in the zone for strike 1. Cut both of our hairs this week, more than one hair, I should say. And
gave us both haircuts.
Did, in fact, and you will see an interview shortly that I did with him in the process sometime next week. Called Strike. That should go up on YouTube. Hopefully I can get that out to the world because it was a fun talk. You were there.
Oh, yeah.
In the clubhouse, admittedly. In the training room, it is a little hot. Not much air conditioning to speak of, so I was a little sweaty in that interview. Soft fly ball into right center. It's going to fall into no man's land. Bardwell gets a base hit, his first of the day. Now runners at first and second and nobody out.
And that extends his on base streak to a season best for him, 20.
Bardwell, a couple Bardo blasts in the second half. The first here at Blair Field in the second half. Just a couple days ago that made the impact in the game where they were trailing by 5, now trailing by 5 here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's Cuba Bess. Back-to-back nights with a big jack. Takes outside for ball 1. He's 0 for 2 today. Couple of flyouts. Both to the opposite side for the lefty, the natural lefty. 24 home runs on the season. 1-0, misses outside. Started off this season in the first couple of weeks with 8. That led the league for some time. Now 3 times that. That's 3 touchdowns with 3 extra points. Or 2-point conversions, I should say. We are getting into football season, so it's about time that we start talking about that. Hard line drive into right field, but it's going to go right to Apodaca. He's going to double up Pitts at second, who is off and running on the crack of the bats. A double play. Bardwell gets back to the bag. He might not have known that there were no outs, but he's safe there. Cooper Vest now has a chance to make an impact like he did in his first at-bat. Cracking one over the right field wall for the first lead of this game. 8-3 Paddleheads in the bottom of the 5th, now 2 outs. First pitch to Vest into right center. Sent a good ways, heading back towards the warning track, but the grab on the run, Kazuski makes another fantastic play to cut a potential rally short. The Coast, another shutdown inning. That's their second from Brendan Beard, who keeps the lead intact heading into the 6th. 8-3 Paddleheads. Will be right back on the Coast Media Network. A 0 on the board, but a great start to the bottom of the 5th. A hit by pitch and a single, but cut short on a double play, and then a fly out by Cooper Vest. Brendan Beard keeps the 8-3 lead for the Paddleheads into the 6th. Marco DiGirolamo gets strike 1 on Xavier Casarilla, who's 1 for 3 today. Welcome back into the booth here. And I started talking about it, but Matthew O'Brien cut that conversation short after he left the game. Hot shot to the hot corner. Rosengard has some trouble initially with it, but gets it to first in time for out number 1. Talking about the Miller's Musing and the fact that it is back to school day, we said that there have been 73 MLB players just in the Long Beach Unified School District. Now, that does not include Los Alamitos, which I know a lot of people consider as something native to Long Beach, or a lot of Long Beach natives go there, like our front office staff, including Kiki Sapiga, who went there and is a Long Beach native, now with the Long Beach Coast. 1-0 on Nate Vargas. First pitch misses inside. But that's a different conversation, as well as some other Long Beach natives who went to schools outside the main district, or people who were born and raised in Long Beach but didn't play high school baseball in Long Beach. We're just focusing currently on Long Beach Unified School District. A 2-0 count now to Vargas. I did mention 2 Hall of Famers. Can you name those 2 Hall of Famers, Jesse?
Not offhand. I might need some hints.
So one of them went to the high school just across the street from us and has a plaque right outside of Blair Field.
So Bob Lemon.
Bob Lemon is one of them. The second one leads all of Long Beach natives who came out of high school in Long Beach in hits. He's actually one of the greatest hitters of all time. 3-1 count after that foul ball off of Nate Vargas's bat.
Huh.
I can tell you, he went to Long Beach Poly, and he went to college at San Diego State, played basketball.
Oh, Tony Gwynn.
There you go. Breaking ball in the outside corner. Vargas tosses his bat aside, taps his head, and it's going to be a successful one. That gets him aboard with a walk. The 4th walk issued to the Paddleheads. 3 out of the hands of O'Brien, now the first for DiGirolamo. 1 out for Yukamoto, who started off a 2-run rally just in the previous inning with his 2nd hit of the day. Has gone to both sides today. The lefty will face off against the new righty. DiGirolamo in his warm-up pitches kind of looked like Steven Ordorica, the way he steps off the mound and where he lands, but has a bit more of a snappy motion when it's game time. 1-0 count to start him off. So Long Beach Poly has 19 players, 5 All-Stars, including Tony Gwynn with 3,141 career hits, 15 All-Star games. Pitch misses low for ball 2. Also, can you name the other 4 All-Stars? I can give you some of the hard ones right now. Milton Bradley, Rocky Bridges, which is kind of an older one.
Great name.
Vern Stevens. Have you heard of Vern Stevens?
Yes.
Called strike. A 2-1 count. 7-time All-Star. But one that I did not know was a Long Beach native until just a couple, well, until I was looking this up. Chase Utley went to Long Beach Poly.
Huh.
The 6-time All-Star. 2-1. Misses outside for another 3-1 count on DiGirolamo. Now, Chase Utley, out of all 73 major league players out of the Long Beach Unified School District, has the most home runs. There have only been 5 players of those 75 that have eclipsed 200 home runs. Chase Utley with 259 in his career. And surprisingly, Tony Gwynn is not of those 5.
Not a home run hitter.
He got on base. Line drive into right field. Bardwell has to charge over. It's going to fall. Now here comes Vargas from first to third. Cut off by Mata. 3-hit day for Yukamoto. Elliott Good now to the plate. A righty working in the bullpen currently. I believe that's a righty. Just in case. No, actually, it might be a lefty.
In which case, it's probably Jake Dixon.
I believe you're right. That's what it looks like. First pitch, breaking ball in the zone to Elliott Good, who's 0 for 2. A sacrifice bunt, got Yukamoto over, and eventually scored in the 5th. Now Yukamoto is being held on by Vest. The same breaking ball in the same spot and the same result. Strike 2.
And yes, that is Jake Dixon.
So now behind in the count. Good. Takes time. Of the Long Beach Unified School Districts, by the way, only 6 have produced MLB All-Stars, rather MLB players. There are many that either don't have a baseball team or just haven't produced one. 1-2 count. Slider misses outside.
Being in California and not having a baseball team, that is borderline criminal.
Well, the one thing that confused me was Lakewood High School is in the district. Lakewood is not technically in the city confines of Long Beach. Ground ball up the middle. Mata kicks off a double play to Kaufman, then on to first. And that ends the inning. No runs across for the first time since the 3rd. DiGirolamo gets out of it, and the 4th batter he faces. We'll be right back. It is 8-3 heading into the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back on the Coast Media Network. Emilio Corona stepping up to the plate, now being honored and recognized for an achievement he had last night. He had reached the 2040 club, 20 home runs, his 20th last night. He already reached his 40th stolen base earlier in this homestand. Corona will try and get back at what is a 5-run deficit right now in the bottom of the 6th. Breaking ball by Beard misses outside for ball 1. Corona 0 for 2 today. Holds his bat high now. The righty waves on through his first strike. Counts for one of the 3 strikeouts on the board for Brendan Beard, who pitched 8 innings on Tuesday. A 3-1 victory, where in 7 of his 8 innings, he did not allow a run. Matthew Toppensee got that 9th inning knocked out of the way. He has 2 saves this week. 2-1 now as that third pitch misses. Bases clear, nobody out. That 2-1 swung on and missed. Corona quickly steps back in the right-handed batter's box. High leg kick, 2-2. In the air towards deep center field. Back with some warning track power. And another fantastic grab from Kazuski, identical to what we just saw of him ending the 5th. Now it starts off the bottom of the 6th the very same way. Look at him run all the way back and crash into the wall. Had that gone maybe just a foot further, that would have left the yard for his 21st. Now instead, Corona's 0 for 3. You hear Ella Langley, that means Benjamin Rosengard's coming up. And last time you heard it, on the 4th pitch, he got his first home run here at Blair Field. He takes strike 1. Thought about challenging. He had a successful challenge his last time up, the only challenge used by Long Beach this afternoon. 30th attempt in the homestand as well. 20th successful for the team. Foul ball back. 0-2 count for Rosengard. That was also his 3rd home run in a Coast uniform. Got a couple on the road in the Rocky Mountain region. But it had some late life on that home run. Had some late carry. He went the opposite way with it. Not an easy home run to hit at this ball field. Pitch taken outside on the 0-2. Now a 1-2 count. 1-2 by Beard, misses in the dirt for ball 2, and just getting back to try and finish out the Miller's Musing, which has been a bit sporadic today. We were talking about Lakewood High School, how they have 2 All-Stars, but they're not technically in Long Beach. I believe they're the only ones on this list not in the confines of Long Beach City. Misses the outer corner, Beard does, a 3-2 count. Lakewood High School has produced some greats. DJ J. Give, for one.
Oh, of course.
And as well as 2 All-Stars, Travis Darnode and Damian Easley. Now, what connection does Damian Easley have towards independent baseball? I'll tell you in just a second, but there's a ground out. 3 unassisted by Casarilla at first. 2 outs for Spence Kaufman. Damian Easley is the father-in-law of Kyle Goodell, who is now the manager of the Gateway Grizzlies, a team that I once worked for. A really fascinating story with Kyle Goodell in the 2023 season, where he started off as a hitting coach, retired for the past 7 years, last played with the Chicago Dogs, which ties it into Benjamin Rosengard's home city, and also Spence Kaufman, who started the year in the Frontier League with the Windy City Thunderbolts, now on the ground, backhanded by Good, and on to first for out number 3, so that finishes out that story. But essentially, he started off as a hitting coach, became an emergency hitter after a series of injuries, became a superstar, bunch of home runs in his first week. Really incredible story. Now he's the manager there. That wraps things up in the 6th. We'll send it to the 7th, where Jesse will take the mic for the rest of this game. 8-3, Paddleheads on top here on the Coast Media Network.
Heading to the top of the 7th inning, blue skies as we creep past 3 o'clock on this Sunday afternoon. Jake Dixon, the new pitcher for a Coast team, trailing 8-3. Paddleheads your score. Michael Kazuski leading off, lefty against the new arm. He kicks and fires. Slider drops downstairs for a 1-0 count. Dixon replacing the rookie Marco DiGirolamo after his professional debut. The former Bundesliga Paderborn Untouchables arm, Gonzalez. 1-0, fouled off his front foot. 1-1 count. DiGirolamo, a NorCal native, who after his UC Riverside tenure wrapped up in May, made it across the water for a little bit of time, but Troy Percival recalled him. Now it's a former Paddlehead in Jake Dixon, who played for 3 teams last year, the Ottawa Titans of the Frontier League, then these Paddleheads, before rounding things out up in Idaho Falls. The Clovis, California native. He turns. Kazuski watches the slider, called a ball high and inside, challenged by catcher Johnny Pappas. However, that Red Pocket Mobile ABS strike zone challenge is unsuccessful. That appeal reveals that the call was correct as a ball. Long Beach has 1 challenge remaining. Kazuski yet to be retired today is 2 for 2, 3 runs scored with a walk. High leg kick. He swings and pops it foul to the left side. Dixon, here he goes. Kazuski bounces it foul to the right side. This contest started off looking good for Long Beach with a 2-run homer from Cooper Vest. That was in the first inning, but Missoula then capped on 3 in the second inning and has exploded since then. 3 in the fourth, 2 more in the fifth. Now here in the top of the 7th, ahead 8-3. Dixon turns on home. Sinker misses downstairs. It's a full count. Dixon from the stretch. Fouled off over the backstop. Someone replaced the words tequila in Jeff Liffman, the Long Beach organist rendition of the song, with Strike 'em Out. Dixon trying to do that is 3-2. Kazuski foul tips it to the backstop. Dixon with the tan glove at the letters. He flips and misses high and away for ball 4. A 9-pitch walk beginning his afternoon. That brings up Will Bermudez, another man with 2 hits in this game. In fact, it's going to be a while before you see someone without multiple knocks for Missoula. Bermudez does, and then the first 3 batters at the top of the order, Apodaca, Klemp, and Sermonelli, all do too. Xavier Casarilla after that, just 1. The only player in this lineup without a hit in this game, the only players, I should say, are Nate Vargas and Elliot Good. Runner moving for second. The pitch to the righty. Called a strike. Throw to the bag. Way up high. In any case, Kazuski beat the throw. So with an 0-1 count and nobody out in the top of the 7th, a Missoula team that's already ahead by 5 has a runner in scoring position. Oh and 1. Dixon settling in. Checks back at second. Kicks home. Up high.
Kazuski leads the team in stolen bases, that being his 32nd on the season.
And now Bermudez has a chance to bring him around. The 1-1. Swinging a high chopper, third base side, and just foul. Benjamin Rosengard leapt to grab it and tossed on to first. But Bermudez gets another chance.
Maybe a preview of what Rosengard can do at the hot corner there. Maybe just showing off his arm there. Threw the ball after the third base umpire, Pete Cicito, threw up his hands.
And Jeff Liffman in the background playing Hold the Line after that foul ball. Hops it. I'll never say no to a little Toto at the ballpark. Of course, we do have a Woof Wednesday, a week from Wednesday. So you could bring Toto to the ballpark. Your little dog, too. 1-2. Bermuda swings. Jogs this one on the ground up the middle. Anthony Mata picks it on the run. Throws to first in time. But that moves Kazuski over to third. 1 out. Top 7. Missoula ahead 8-3.
That was a pretty play there by Mata, too. The way he timed that up, that is something only a person who teaches other kids how to work his glove can show off his leather.
Infield creeps in. The first pitch to Enzo Apodaca leans out of the way. 1-0 count. We'll use that to preview the interview dropping with Anthony later this week. Also, we'll be talking to both him and his wife, Felina, about their training facility, Mata Athletics, down in Lemon Grove near San Diego. 1-0. Swinging a foul punch to the back netting. 1-1 count. I think somebody passed along the press box to Jeff that we like Toto. Because there he goes on Rosanna. Of course, if that ball had gone to Benjamin Rosengard, that would have fit. 1-1. Dixon kicks high. Swinging a pop fly foul, third base side. Of course, we heard Jeff play Rosanna during our interview with him back during the first month and a half of the season. I think that was back in June that we talked to him. So you can hear him play that uninterrupted, except by my persistent questions. 1-2. Dixon deals. Swung on, rope down the first base side and foul. Infield still in, one away, top 7, runner on third. 8-3 Paddleheads. The 1-2. Swung on, lifted down the first base side, and just foul. If Apodaca had straightened that out just a couple inches to the left, that could have been big trouble for a Long Beach team already suffering. Apodaca has wheels. Definitely could have made it over to third had he kicked into another gear there. Just figured his way into 4 triples this season. There goes Dixon. Swing and a miss, tied up high and inside. 89 miles per hour on the heater up high. 2 away now in the top of the 7th, and Dixon can escape this inning unscathed despite Kazuski working his way over to third with fewer than 2 outs. Well, here's Nick Klemp. Like Apodaca, he entered this at bat 2 for 3 on the ball game with a walk. Lefty to righty. That steers up high. 1-0 count. Coming up for Long Beach after stretch time, Anthony Mata, Johnny Pappas in the top of the order, and Robert Pitts. So a bunch of righties against whoever Missoula sends out there. 1-0. Called to strike high and away. Of course, Brendan Beard, the starter, went 8 innings on Tuesday. He is very well used to going for longer setups. From the stretch, swerves in the dirt. Two and one. Downstairs. 3-1 count. Beard, by the way, has fired off 7 or more innings in 2 of his last 3 starts. So definitely would not put it past him to head back out there. It's tough for us to see into the visiting bullpen because we are totally blocked from it as it's down the line instead of beyond the outfield like Long Beach is. 3-1. Inside and low, ball 4. Men on the corners for Missoula. 8-3. The Paddleheads lead. 2 away, top 7. Here comes Bryce Sermonelli. 2 for 4 with an RBI back in the 4th.
Well, we've seen Dixon now 4 batters faced. He lost a couple of counts, but the ones that he got ahead of, he got out.
Lefty to lefty. Swinging a foul ball off to the left side. Oh and 1. Dixon staring at first. Kicks home. Misses. Johnny Pappas dives to his left to keep the ball in front of him. That is one of the most underrated plays in baseball when a catcher makes a save like that.
And, of course, you would say that, a former catcher yourself. But you are correct. Being a brick wall is very important when we've seen the impact of wild pitches at third.
Any hockey fans like me can appreciate that. 1-1 downstairs and low. 2-1 count. Joey, I don't know if you were watching hockey in 2009, but
no. Yes.
Marc-Andre Fleury's save to clinch the cup over the Red Wings. Reminiscent of that play, where he keeps his knees in place but lifts his body off towards the post to stop it. 2-1. Dixon deals, missing high and outside. 3-1 count. Now, granted, probably oversold it. I think he was stopping that puck regardless. But legendary play in recent hockey memory. Well, recent. It was, 17 years ago.
Just about how old the kids were here at the area code games just a couple weeks ago.
3-1. Lands up high for ball 4. And, of course, your Miller's Musing, talking about the local high schools. Only one Long Beach State commit in the entire tournament, but plenty of California-born players.
And including the number 1 in the class of 2027, Dylan Seward, who looked just okay until the final day where he exploded onto the scene in the battle of the basement, as I called it, the battle for last place.
Battle to avoid last place.
To avoid last place, which the Brewers did. Teams named after actual Major League teams.
And staffed by Major League coaching affiliates.
We saw a lot of recognizable faces.
Marquise Grissom coaching the MLB Breakthrough crew. Then lots of dads who played Major League Baseball. Mark DeRosa, Andre Ethier,
Michael Bourne,
Stephen Drew,
Brad Hopp.
Here's Xavier Casarilla, lefty to righty with the bases loaded. Fastball for a strike at the belt.
Lest we forget about one-time All-Star Brad Hopp.
Sure. 8-3 Missoula, top 7. 2 outs, Ducks on the pond. Dixon's 0-1. Swinging a high fly ball. Popped up first base side. Cooper Vest waiting on it by the foul line. Backpedals and makes the catch. Missoula loads the bases on a trio of walks, but cannot bring anyone home. We move on to stretch time. Long Beach needing a jump start, down 8-3 on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Down by 5, Anthony Mata is tasked with trying to start the comeback for the Long Beach Coast. Entering the bottom of the 7th inning with an 8-3 Missoula PaddleHeads lead. It's still Brendan Beard out there, the starter, working into the 7th inning for the second time this week. Righty-righty affair with the 8-hitter. He kicks up high. Mata bends with the curveball low and inside. 1-0 count. Mata followed by Johnny Pappas, then the top of the order, and Robert Pitts. This trio a combined 2 for 5. Mata, 1 for 2. Out of the windup, he swings, laces it to shallow left field. Tai Yukamoto in pursuit, and he makes the catch. Mata connects with that one, but well, it's not quite an atom ball. Yukamoto did not have to move a whole heck of a lot there. Now it's up to Johnny Pappas. 0 for 1. He reached as a pinch runner after David Whittle was hit in the head with a pitch and unfortunately forced to leave the game. We do not have an update on his status. We're hoping he's all right. Righty to righty. Misses inside and low. 1-0 count. Pappas at risk of losing his 12 contest on base streak. 1-0. Curveball floats up high. 2-0 count. Third longest active on base streak on the team if you count Thomas McCaffrey, who's on the injured list. 2-0. Pappas watches that one by his baby blue batting gloves for a 3-0 count.
Also seeing some action in the bullpen. It looks to be Brett Wozniak.
Another left-hander getting loose for Long Beach. A lefty-dominant game. The only righty, Marco DiGirolamo. 3-0. Pappas watches the fastball for a strike at the belt. 3-1 count.
And you know, for the longest time, the lefties out of the pen were not plentiful. It was typically either just Dixon and then Jackson Bird when he came along.
3-1. Pappas swings and takes a chunk out of it, foul. Jake Dixon, of course, pitching the last frame. Matthew O'Brien began this contest. Brett Wozniak began the season as a starter. He, in fact, started the first ever Pioneer League game in Long Beach, California, the home opener 2 weeks into the season. Full count pitch. High and inside, and that catches him on the elbow. Pappas aboard. His streak moves on to 13. Matthew Bardowell still has the best one at the moment, up at 20. No one will be touching Eddie Pelk's mark, though. That is no longer active. Of 60 consecutive games reaching base this season, 15 last year with Idaho Falls. So they combined 75, 9 shy of Ted Williams' record of 84. That brings up Robert Pitts at the top of the order. 8-3 Missoula, 1 away in the bottom of the 7th with a runner on first. Righty pitches to righty. He swings and pops it foul to the right side. Going to hear more about Robert Pitts and his journey. Joey Miller sat down in front of him. I'd say with him, but Robert was standing and cutting her hair. That's his other talent.
It's the first interview I've done without my glasses on.
Wow. And the first interview where you were physically lighter by the end of it, losing some hair. Righty to righty. This is low and outside.
Well, I've done some exercise-ish interviews where, you know, you walk with a player and you talk with them. I did that on a segment with the Grizzlies called Pole to Pole.
Okay, where you are separated from different parts of yourself.
Yes.
The hair follicles. 1-1, pitch swings and cracks it down the left field line, but foul. 1-2 count. Acting team barber, Robert Pitts. Doesn't ask for any compensation. Does it for his teammates. Told us that he's got 3 sisters, one of whom is an influencer, so definitely helps her out. 1-2, lunges, pokes into shallow right field, charging Apodaca. He lays out, backhanded chance, and he snags it. Oh, he lost his sunglasses, but hung on to the pearl. The second diving catch in this game for the Missoula outfield after Michael Kazuski made a sliding grab in center to nab a Spence Kaufman drive in the second inning.
What is this defense today for the Paddleheads? Working hard for their starter, Brendan Beard, probably robbing them of at least a couple hits and definitely maybe even a couple runs.
Well, this is the first time this series where Missoula has handedly outmatched Long Beach in the hit department. Before last night, a win for the Coast. Long Beach had held the advantage in the hit department every game, despite trailing the series. Righty-righty affair, the pitch. Matthew Bardowell watches the slider lone away, 1-0 count. Well, Long Beach had out-hit Missoula on Tuesday and Wednesday, evening up the Paddleheads in hits on Thursday and Friday. One and 0. Down by the ankles. 2-0 count.
The Paddleheads aren't a team you can wait on, even in a contest that's 5 or less runs, heck, even 3 or less runs in a save situation, because you know who they might put out on the mound in the 9th.
2-0. Bardowell leans back on the slider for a strike.
And I know that there are probably some general frustrations for Michael Schlacht and his coaching staff after the past couple of nights, giving up 16 hits in, yes, a win, but then giving up a loss yesterday.
2-1, torn into center field. Bardowell aboard with his second hit of the game. He moves Pappas to second with 2 away in the bottom of the 7th inning, 8-3 Paddleheads.
Nice work by Bardowell to wait back on that fastball at 87. That was a bit high and outside, but he barreled it up nicely, and simple as that, he gets himself on base, like you said, for the second hit of the game.
And you mentioned who these teams have out of the bullpen. Well, Zach Volker for Long Beach, league leader with 18 saves, and then for Missoula, Matthew Taubensee, who's earned 2 saves this week. The pitch to the lefty, Cuba Bess. Sidearms downstairs for ball 1. Heard a little Sir Duke from Jeff Liffman on organ. I don't know if playing music by a blind musician bodes well for relations with the umpiring crew. Bess swings, tags that one to right field, right at Enzo Apodaca. Finish that thought. After a hit, that song makes sense, but remember, organists have been ejected for playing 3 blind mice before. But Jeff's got a little more style than that. Long Beach will need more style. Moving on to the 8th inning, but it's Missoula coming to the plate with Nate Vargas, Tai Komodo, and Elliot Good on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Brett Wozniak entering the game for Long Beach. Hey again from Blair Field. New pitcher out there. 8-5. Missoula, your score, entering the top of the 8th inning. A game full of lefties for the coast. Third, southpaw on the bump today. Across 4 pitchers. His first batter, a fellow lefty, Nate Vargas. Out of the windup, first one from Wozniak. Swung on and lifted to the back netting. Foul, 0-1 count. Wozniak replacing Jake Dixon after a no-hit 7th inning. But while there were no hits, definitely not without drama. Loading the bases on 3 walks. 0-1. High and inside. Hits Vargas, who slams down his bat after wearing that one off the front loop of his belt. Barely got him.
Now, I understand how you can be mad about that, sure. A lot of free bases given up by the Coast, but look at the other side of your book. 3 hit by pitches by Brendan Beard, and I know none of them are intentional, but come on. Your team is up by 5, and you're getting mad at a hit by pitch?
Well, these guys like to hit away. It's not just about the game, it's about boosting their stats. And Vargas, hitless today, probably wanted an opportunity. Lefty deals to lefty. Tai Yukamoto watches the fastball low and outside, 1-0 count. Wozniak walks in with a .360 earned run average. This being his 11th appearance on the season. Next pitch, misses low and away. 2-0 count. 4th time strolling out of the bullpen. Return from the injured list last week against Oakland after he missed 53 days. Next pitch, fastball for a strike.
Oakland, where these guys are headed just after today. It's getaway day for the Paddleheads and their first trip to California of this season.
2-1. That floats up by the hands. 3-1 count. That's right. The Paddleheads headed to Oakland, then Modesto. Long Beach headed to Modesto, then Oakland. And then back home when Modesto comes here. So we'll be hearing some pretty familiar names these next 2 weeks. 3-1, misses low and away. So Wozniak hits his first batter, walks the second. Nobody out, top 8. Missoula. Here's Elliott Good. He's 0 for 3. Lining out to short in the second, flying out to center in the 4th, laying down a sacrifice bunt in the 5th, and grounding into a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play to end the 6th inning. Lefty pitching to a righty. Wozniak fires. Good swings away. Bashes into right field on the ground in front of Matthew Bardowell. He jots it back to the infield, and the bases are loaded. Missoula moving station to station there. Vargas held up to see if Bardowell would make a play for that one and try to dive for the catch. And as a result, he only has the freedom to move up 1 base, but for a team up by 5, that may not be an issue. Michael Kazuski follows in here. Nate Vargas is out now, by the way, the only Paddleheads batter without a hit. That's the first for Good today. Lefty to lefty. Curveball bends in for a strike at the belt. Missoula had been without a hit for 9 batters before that Good knock. But 4 walks and a hit by pitch in that time. Next pitch bounced out to second. Kaufman has it. Our hands to Mata on second. He throws to first in time. No! Kazuski called safe at first on a very close play. Regardless, the fielder's choice brings home Vargas, and it's 9-3 Missoula. 1 out now. Men on the corners in the top of the 8th.
And how big could that double play have been, especially with the bases loaded and nobody out?
Well, it brings up Will Bermudez on the right side. That gives Kazuski an RBI. The pitch, a fastball for a strike on the outer half. 0-1 count. Out of the stretch, runner moving for second. The pitch misses inside, no throw. Kazuski, his third stolen base of the game. And there are 2 men in scoring position for Missoula with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning, leading 9-3. Out of the stretch, infield in. Curveball flies for a called strike. Up high, challenged, and that Red Pocket Mobile ABS strike zone challenge successful. Will Bermudez tapping his head Making sure he gets that one right. Kazuski, 34 stolen bases now on the season. I just heard Jeff Safford, their broadcaster, across the room say that he's 3 away from the record for the team. 2-1. That misses up high and away. 3-1 count. Now, not to brag or anything, but in 1 year of existence, Emilio Corona already has the coast up at 43. 37, I mean, come on, you've had time in Missoula history, actually.
Well, not much to brag about right now. Down by 6.
3-1. That misses high and away. Bases are loaded for the top of the Missoula order. Well, in this game, maybe not, but in terms of stolen base records, kind of seems like Missoula had a head start, and still Emilio Corona runs up and by him.
With 20 home runs as well, not to mention.
Not too shabby. Well, here's Enzo Apodaca, a lefty in an open stance. Out of the stretch. Wozniak's front door curve misses inside. 1-0 count for Apodaca. Bends in 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs. Correction, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. With a walk. Next pitch. Falls for a strike, low and away. Bases loaded for Missoula, 2 away, 9-3 the Paddleheads lead, top of the 8th. The 1-1. Apodaca watches another front door curve. This time it hits for a strike. 1-2 count. Wozniak glaring home. Glove at the waist. High leg kick. Swinging a chopper off the front foot. Apodaca wearing it off the shin guard, foul. Apodaca laying his all-black bat on his back shoulder. Wozniak turns home, swinging a rip to right field. Bardwell chasing in. He makes the catch. He hurls it home, and a fake tag from third keeps the bases loaded. Bardwell lasering that ball home. And while it wasn't a perfect strike to the plate, not too shabby, Johnny Pappas only had to move maybe half a foot to his left. So that atom ball gives Long Beach a chance to escape this frame with only 1 run's damage. There is action in the bullpen off in right field. The arm barn helmed at the moment by a right-hander. We'll update you when we can on who that is. Believe that may be Ryan Fox. The pitch to Nick Klemp. He knocks this one into left field on the ground for a base hit. 1 run scores. Relay to the infield from Robert Pitts. Cut off by Rosengard. Throw home. Tag applied too late. 2-run score. Yukamoto home, and Michael Kazuski juicing his wheels to make it home from second. 11-3 Missoula.
Kazuski showing off those wheels that got him 30-plus stolen bases. Now just extending and piling on to this crazy lead now.
Well, now it's Bryce Sermonelli, the 8th batter of this inning. Digging in as a lefty with runners on first and second and 2 away. An 8-run lead. The pitch. Swings. Tags this one up the middle off of Wozniak's mitt. Mata has it. Rocks to first and gets him. Just your stereotypical 1-6-3 force out to end the inning. Missoula with a very on-brand big frame. 3-run scoring in the top of the 8th. Long Beach, however, enjoys its best frame in this 8th inning. We'll tell you more about why that's the case when we return on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Hey again from Blair Field, this Sunday matinee turning sour for Long Beach, but Cooper Vest steps up with a chance to sweeten the deal. Missoula leads 11-3 with a new pitcher out there. Ritter Steinman, the first man out of the arm barn. Righty pitching to a lefty, he kicks up high. Vest watches the 82-mile-per-hour changeup miss low and away. Steinman replacing Brendan Beard after his second quality start of the week against the Coast. Beard, 7 innings after an 8 spot on Tuesday to open up the series. 1-0. Vest swings, jots this one on the ground to first. Xavier Casarilla picks it. Vest hustles down the line, but Casarilla gingerly toes the bag for out number 1. Couple of the first basemen meeting there. And that brings up Emilio Corona. Well, Cooper Vest homered in the first inning. Emilio Corona tattooed the ball yesterday and almost hit another one out of here earlier today. A message screened on the big board out in right field congratulated Corona on becoming the first member of the Long Beach Coast to the 2040 club. 20 homers, 40 steals. Out of the stretch, he swings and misses hesitantly across the slider. 0-1 count. Corona's 43 stolen bases leads the Pioneer League. His 20 home runs, second on the Coast roster behind Cuba Best with 24. 0-1. Slides outside and high. 1-0 count. 1-1 count. Baby blue mitt at the belt for Steinman. Closed off stance on the third base side. Here he goes. Misses up high and away. Steinman, who started the year with the team that gave him his first pro contract last year at the Billings Mustangs. With Missoula, works an 8.13 ERA. Out of the stretch, Corona swings and catches a piece of the ball, knocking it to the backstop. 2-2 count. Steinman, tossed on Friday, allowed 1 run over 1 inning on 2 hits with a walk. Came in to a 7th inning where Long Beach had already added a couple runs. Now he sets in a righty-righty affair. 2-2, Corona cuts and lifts it to deep center field, hanging up in the inward wind. Michael Kazuski in center underneath makes the catch a good 10 steps in front of the warning track. Well, Long Beach has run out of time. 4 outs separating the Coast from their first ever series loss in a 6-game setup. Benjamin Rosengard stands in now on the left side. And Long Beach has a hill to climb. The largest comeback win in team history occurred in the second home game back on June 3rd. Today, now August 23rd. That was an 8-run resurgence against the Red Pocket Mobiles. Righty to lefty, Rosengard leans out of the way. The fastball hits for a strike. 88 miles per hour there. The highest number of runs scored in 1 inning. Well, Long Beach accomplished that over the most recent road trip, August 6th, against the Glacier Range Riders. That was in the 5th inning. 0-1. This is outside and high. 1-1 count. The Coast trailed this series with 2 wins, Missoula 3. The first ever meeting between these two was Tuesday to kick off this week. Could be a playoff rematch. 1-1. Backdoor slider hits for a strike. 1-2 count. And I believe Long Beach would be set to play Missoula in the first round at the current standings. It was my understanding, Joey, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it's the top team in the first half hosting the second team in the second half, and the top team in the second half hosting the second team in the first half.
That's usually how it's gone, but this year it might factor in travel with the two new teams in California. So we might see the Roadsters perhaps if they clinch soon.
1-2. Rosengard swipes and misses and slams his bat down after the strikeout. He homered back in the 4th. That's his first time being retired by way of the K today. But now Long Beach sits 3 outs from a Sunday loss. We move on to the top of the 9th inning. 4, 5, and 6 to up for Missoula here on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Taking it back to Blair Field, last inning of baseball in the second to last homestand for the Long Beach Coast. And so far, it's not going the way Long Beach maybe wanted it to. Gary Grosjean, the new pitcher, dealing in an 11-3 deficit. Missoula at the plate. First pitch to Xavier Casarilla. And the righty-righty affair, the first one, lands for a strike high and away. Gary Grosjean replacing Brett Wozniak after his inning of work, allowing 3 runs on 2 hits. Highlight kick. Swing and a miss, downstairs and away. 0-2 for Casarilla. Grosjean walking into this appearance with an earned run average of .610 across his 18 outings. 15 of them prior to today out of the bullpen. 0-2. Cut on and punched foul to the right side. Casarilla keeps himself afloat. The Truckee, California native, has gone without allowing a run in both of his last 2 outings. Struck out 5 back on August 16th against Oakland. But he's held Missoula scoreless so far this week. 0-2. Drops inside and high for a 1-2 count. Casarilla today, 1-for-5. He has not left the infield except for his first inning double. 1-2. Shanked high and away. 2-2 count. And ironically, that's one of the innings where Missoula went without scoring. They've piled on the runs in this game with 4 multi-run frames. But the only time when their home run leader records a hit, an extra base hit, they leave the runners stranded. 2-2. He cuts, flares this one to right field. Matthew Bardowell tracking back, and he makes the catch at the chest. That brings up Nate Vargas, the only hitless paddlehead today. Last time up, he slammed his bat down because he was hit with the pitch, and evidently he wanted to swing away.
He's still been getting aboard a couple times the freeway today. That is his 3rd hit by pitch and his 5th walk of the series.
Grosjean settling in, glove at the belt, works on home. Vargas waits on the fastball, high and outside, called a strike. 89 miles per hour there. Well, if Long Beach wants to come back in this game and win it, well, all 9 batters will have to see the dish. It starts off with Spence Kaufman, who would probably have to bat twice anyway. 0-1, misses high and outside. 1-1 count. And I realized that we meant to talk about how good Long Beach has been in the 8th inning last frame. I never got to it, but entering today, the Coast enjoyed a run differential of plus 50 in the 8th. Next pitch misses up high and inside. 2-1 count. Long Beach outscored today in the 8th inning 3-0, so that drops it to 47. But there is only one frame where the Coast has scored in triple digits on the season in total, and that is the 8th with 101 runs. Next pitch, a fastball for a strike down the middle. 2-2 count. Can you guess what the lowest scoring inning for Long Beach is?
I would have to say the 1st.
Well, it's easier than you think because half the time they haven't needed to bat in this inning.
10th?
9th. 2-2. Fouled off to the backstop. You are technically correct. The 10th inning and every extra inning is a 0 because we don't play extras in the Pioneer League in the regular season. But it is the 9th inning. Still, Long Beach has a positive plus-minus run differential in every frame that of the game this season. Next pitch. Bends over the shoelaces. It's a full count. The only inning in which Long Beach has a plus-minus below double figures is the 3rd at +6. Although that may have changed today. It is correct still. Next pitch hits Vargas. The Ice Packs are working overtime in this series, especially today. I believe that is the 5th hit batsman in this ballgame. 3 Long Beach Coasters, 1 Missoula Paddlehead. Vargas now hit twice, so it's actually 1 Paddlehead batter, but on multiple occasions. Here comes manager Troy Percival to chat with Grosjean. The entire infield works around him here too. Not Long Beach's day on the mound. This has been an excellent series for the pitching staff. Despite the fact that the Coast are most likely going to lose this series, they lose on Tuesday 3-1, only allowing those 3 runs in one frame. They end up winning 10-3 on Wednesday. Fantastic game all around. Despite the shutout on Thursday, Long Beach, again, like Tuesday, had only allowed runs in 1 inning, so 8 scoreless frames across the ballgame. Tai Yukamoto digging in on the left side. Runner on first, 1 away, the pitch. He stares at the fastball high and outside. Yesterday, although Missoula wins the hitting battle, the Long Beach staff only walks 3 batters and then wins the game. 1-0. Fended off to the back netting. It's a 1-1 count.
I'm not sure what Troy Percival said to Gary Grosjean, but based on our angle here on Home Team Network, he did not look thrilled.
Well, given that his team is down by 8, I would say that might be an understandable reaction.
Yeah.
1-1 for Yukamoto. Out of the stretch. He cuts, bounces it to short. Anthony Mata waiting on it. Throws to second for 1, but sails it. Kaufman pulled his glove down as the ball came through. The ball rolls into right field. Both runners advance just 1 base, thanks to Cooper Vest gunning it for that baseball, backing up his middle infielders. I don't know if that was Mata throwing the ball away or Spence Kaufman feeling for the runner and keeping his glove down. Definitely want to see another look at that, but on the Home Team Network, the only view we're getting is the end of that play, which does not exactly help us. But that is an error on Mata, presumably.
Sure is, and a fielder's choice that gets Tai Yukamoto to first and then to second on the error.
Well, it's a question of is it an error on Mata for the throw or an error on Kaufman for dodging it, but doesn't matter. Righty to righty, Elliott Good fouls it to the right side. It looked like both the throw went awry and Kaufman felt the need to apply some self-preservation with the advancing Nate Vargas on him.
Well, it was supposed to start a double play, and there was just a lack of communication between the middle infielders.
Which happens on Sundays. It's been a long week. 0-1, bounces. 1-1 count. And the team is looking forward to a day off tomorrow, but maybe perhaps with an early bedtime, needing to hit the road to Modesto on Tuesday morning. One and one, Grosjean staring home. Glove at the waist, here he goes. Swing and a dribbler to short, Mata has it. Vargas comes home. The throw to first is high. Vest jumps and steps on the bag just in time. Tai Yukamoto moves to third. Okay, that might answer the question of what happened on play at second. It's hot out there. It's humid. Hands are getting a little sweaty.
Even here in the press box right now.
I know. I keep dropping my pencil. Well, it's 12-3 Missoula. So Long Beach needs its largest comeback ever now to tie up this game. 2 outs, runner on third after the RBI groundout from Elliott Good. Here's Michael Kazuski on the left side. First pitch, fastball for a strike on the outer half. By the way, make sure you stay tuned with the Coast while they're on the road on social media at Long Beach Coast. 0-1, fouled off to the left side. At Long Beach Coast on all your platforms except for Instagram, where it's at LB Coast Baseball. So if we catch you trying to tag at Long Beach Coast on Instagram, you're banned from the ballpark after the season's over, and that ban runs out in April. Unless you want to go to a Dirtbags game, in which case the ban is lifted. Righty to lefty. Popped up third base side and foul.
Technically, we have no affiliation other than the field with Long Beach.
It's a moral ban.
Sure.
I will shame you. Of course, there are many loopholes in said plan. In said ban, I should say. 0-2 count for Kazuski. Long Beach with a quarter of Missoula's runs. Grosjean's 0-2. Eats inside and low. 1-2 count. So for Missoula, does Matthew Taubensee earn the nod for the 4th time this week? Or does he get a rest with a 9-run cushion? We'll see in the bottom of the 9th. 1-2. Inside and low, and did that catch him too? Kazuski, yeah, he hops out of the way, but the ball nabs him on the foot. Both teams have issued 3 hit batsmen. Long Beach nailing 2 this inning. Here's Will Bermudez. Every time he hits, he does something with it. 4 hits in this series. 5 RBIs. And the only hit that did not produce a run, well, it was an extra base hit as well. 3 of these knocks have also been for extra bases, including a home run yesterday. 2-run double in the second today. Righty to lefty, checks his swing. It's called a ball up high. Grosjean deals. Bermudez swings and misses. 1-1 count. Yukamoto on third. Kazuski on first. 2 away in the top of the 9th inning. But 12-3 Paddleheads. Grosjean kicks on home. Bermudez cuts and flies it to left center field and deep. Robert Pitts tracking back, feeling for the fence. He lays out and that's off his glove. Well, that brings home the 13th run in Yukamoto. Around from first, Kazuski. It is now 14-3 Missoula. Bermudez on second after the error in left field. Second fielding gaffe of the game. Third, rather, for Long Beach. Second of this inning. Sometimes it is simply not your day. It looked like it might be. Cooper Vest homering in the first inning to throw the Coast into the lead. But now they need double figures in the bottom of the 9th to have a shot. Enzo Apodaca back at the top of the order on the left side. First pitch. He swings and pops it foul to the third base side and out of play. 0-1 count. This is his 7th trip to the plate. Oh, my goodness. We're seeing a lot of the Paddleheads in the last time these teams face off in the regular season. Talk about one good last look. 0-1, misses up high. 1-1 count. I guess when you're leaving town, in biblical terms, you're not supposed to look back. But Long Beach, on getaway day, evidently doing so, and off the salty shoreline, trying not to turn into pillars of salt. 1-1, flown into shallow left field. Here comes Pitts. He lays out. He snags it. Robert Pitts, what a grab. Well, if there ever was a play to instigate a massive comeback, that is it. Robert Pitts, airborne, racing in to make the catch. Missoula still leads by 11. We'll be back for the bottom of the 9th. Bottom of the ninth inning on the way, and the Long Beach Bats need a lot of momentum. They need the largest comeback in team history, and it's not close. 14-3, the Missoula PaddleHeads lead on this Sunday matinee to wrap up the series. Brock Lambert, the new righty for Missoula. He fires to Spence Kaufman on the right side and misses closer to the left. 1-0 count. Lambert relieving Ritter Steinman after his inning of work, holding the coast down with one hit and one hit batsman. Here he goes, swinging a pop-up behind the backstop. 1-1 count. Correction, he held the coast down in order with a couple strikeouts. Now Lambert from the stretch misses downstairs. It's a 2-1 count for Kaufman. 1 for 3 in the ball game. Spence followed by Tyler Young, who replaced Anthony Mata defensively before the top of the ninth. Next pitch. Fastball misses low and away. Long Beach getting out of town on Tuesday morning. Last game at home before a week up in the Central Valley in NorCal against Modesto and then Oakland, before then hosting those Modesto Roadsters next week to end the regular season with 6 games. 3-1. Jogged up the middle at second. Will Bermudez has it over the bag. Sidearms to first for out number 1. So here comes Tyler Young for his first cuts of the entire series. Young walks in with a 189 batting average. Pennsylvania kid had just one at-bat in the Oakland series last week, striking out. Righty to righty. He cuts and flares this one to center field on the ground. How about Tyler Young? You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity lasts in the bottom of the ninth inning. Not once in a lifetime, because he does that a lot.
You were so close. Rather than Eminem, maybe you're more like a Skittle in that sense.
Yeah, maybe. I've been told when I have a buzz cut, he and I are impossible to tell apart.
Even now?
Eminem, that is, not Tyler Young.
Yeah, of course.
Well, Eminem now has a beard. I can't grow a beard. Johnny Pappas digging in on the right side. Tyler Young on first, not being held. The pitch. Pappas watches the curve for ball 1. The Modesto Roadsters, a team on the skid. That's who Long Beach will see Tuesday through Thursday. Young moving for second. The pitch swung on and ripped foul. 1-1 count. And Modesto handled by the Ballers all week. Yesterday, losing by a run. Modesto dropping 7 of its last 8. The pitch, there goes Young again. Pappas swings and misses. It's a 1-2 count. Young moves up to second on defensive indifference. (14-3) Missoula, bottom 9, 1 out. Runner on second. Brief pause as the umpiring crew shifts over to the left side of the infield. Everybody's a little bit tired. Third base ump Pete Sacedo making his way back to third. Max Ponce, the crew chief, moving between first and second. 1-2, Pappas watches, and home plate umpire Jordan Shepard calls it a ball, but that pitch is challenged, and the challenge is successful. That appeal overturning the ball call to strike 3. Missoula is 1 out from victory. Robert Pitts coming up here for Long Beach. And now he needs to start a streak of, at the very least, 11 straight batters reaching base if Long Beach wants to win this game. Pitts has enjoyed a solid 1 for 3 line. Last time up, he was robbed of a hit in right field by a diving effort from Enzo Apodaca. Righty to righty. He cuts, grounds this one up the middle into center field. Here comes Tyler Young. Picked up by Kazuski in center. He has no play. 14-4 Missoula. Robert Pitts has his second hit of the ball game, and it's an RBI single. Robert Pitts working through with his second professional multi-hit game. That brings up Matthew Bardowell. He has been that guy this week for Long Beach. Bardowell, 2 for 4 today, making him 8 for 21 on the series. By the way, there's another classic game going on in Oakland. Modesto and the Ballers tied up at 12 in the 8th inning. Runner moving for second. The first pitch fouled to the backstop. 0-1 count. The Red Pocket Mobiles lose in 7 innings today in Idaho Falls. So is that 31 losses in a row now?
Yep. 4 away from tying the record.
Yuba Sutter sweeps a doubleheader in Ogden as well. The pitch, Bardowell swings, cracks it to right field, hanging towards the gap. Yukamoto reaches out, rather Apodaca, and he makes the catch. So Missoula walks away with a 10-run win, becoming the first team ever to take a 6-game series against the Long Beach Coast, whether it's on the road or at home here at Blair Field. So Missoula working its playoff bid closer and closer to fruition. Long Beach already having clinched the top spot in the first half standings is playoff bound. And with Missoula currently in 4th in the overall standings, 2nd in the second half standings, this could be a preview of what's to come in 3 weeks in the first round of the playoffs. We'll think more about that scenario when we return on the Beach Ball post-game report. Despite the poor numbers on the scoreboard, Long Beach still enjoyed a few solid games, both at the plate and on the mound. We'll tell you all about it when we return on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Wrapping things up after the third 12-game homestand of the inaugural season for the Long Beach Coast, the final 2-week homestand, not counting what's coming up with the playoffs up ahead. Long Beach heads out to Modesto on Tuesday morning, taking 3 against the Roadsters, who hold the top spot in the second half right now, but have skidded to 7 losses out of their last 8 games. They're in a tight contest right now, tied up 12-12 entering the 9th inning with the Oakland Ballers. Then it's 3 games in Oakland. Games 22, 23, and 24 against the Ballers on the season. And then Modesto returns here to Long Beach for the last week of the regular season. This game ends with a 14-4 Missoula PaddleHeads win over the Coast. They are the only team in the inaugural season to win the season series against Long Beach. Of course, that season series is only this week, because it's rare that the mountain teams play the coastal teams. Missoula ends up taking 4 of the 6, also becoming the first team to win a 6-game series against Long Beach. So the 6th 6-game series will wrap up the regular season. Missoula gets the job done today by piling on 16 hits for the second time this series. Long Beach, however, out-hitting back-to-back games with just 9 today, Coast won last night, but 4 runs, not going to do it against a high-powered offense like the Paddleheads, 4th in the Pioneer League in hitting. And this was really the first day where the bullpen did not do its job as well as normal. Jesse Cook with you, Joey Miller to my right. And Joey, Matthew O'Brien, yeah, he allowed 7 earned runs, 8 total on 11 hits. But things got out of hand with the walks in the bullpen. Long Beach issuing 10 total free passes on the game.
And not just that, 3 hit by pitches as well. That was near the back half, though. Brett Wozniak and Gary Grosjean giving those up. But it was kind of just a slow game from the start. Matthew O'Brien not necessarily getting quick batters, rather getting quick batters faced. No strikeouts for him. He did trust his defense today, but right now the Paddleheads, at least over this past series, have been doing the Yogiism, hit it where they ain't. And on the other side of things, the Paddleheads helped out their starter with some fantastic plays in the outfield.
And can I offer up another Yogiism for you here? Long Beach, headed to a fork in the road. What do you do when you get to a fork in the road? Take it.
Use it to eat.
No, the Yogiism is when you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Of course.
Well, Long Beach, both metaphorically and literally, has a fork in the road coming up. Modesto, then to Oakland, but they have to make a decision over the next couple weeks on how they want to handle these tight end-of-season games because everybody is tired. Everybody in the league is tired. Long Beach, however, no pun intended, has been gifted this opportunity to coast through the second half, knowing it's already bound for the playoffs. So now do you return to how you were, burning at the end of the first half, winning 4 straight games, clawing tooth and nail late in contests, or do you have a game like today where you let things slip away? The offense, despite scoring 4 runs, I actually thought was very strong in this one. 2 home runs in the early going. Early production has been a problem for the LBC of late, but they score in the first inning today on a Cooper Vest blast. So I don't think that the offense was a problem, let alone the problem today.
Yeah, and the 3 errors are another thing that are glaring out to me. However, 2 of them were late into this game when it was kind of out of play at that point already, a 10-run lead when the 2 runs came across in the 9th. They got that one back to prevent a double-digit loss, but all the same, for the struggles of this team trying to find some synergy right now, and hopefully they can find it fast. Maybe they'll have a spark lit under them heading on the road to Modesto and then Oakland, because those are 2 teams that they know very well and that they have kind of sparked a friendly rivalry with. Oakland,
Mostly friendly.
Yeah, mostly friendly, I would say. I think a lot of the people in the clubhouse have certain opinions of certain people on both teams, having seen them so often, having had close back-and-forth games with a lot of these teams. Oakland taking the past 2 series here at Blair Field.